Welcome to another edition of your Wednesday Night Sports Delight, the platform sports talk show.
Question is, did she subscribe?
Right.
I don't know, she's down on YouTube.
Representing from the Boondocks. What up, Jobo?
Hello, what's up? Happy Wednesday.
What up? She repping her Hey Sister Soldier look right now. Everybody give it up for Bunny. What's happening, Bunny?
What up? Happy hump day.
T-Bone, what's going on, brother?
I'm back, and I don't know about better than ever, but I'm back.
What is going on, party people? It is your Wednesday Night Sports Delight, the platform sports talk show. I am your boy Smooth. I think that may be on the highlight reel tape. And we're glad that you are tuning in live along with the millions
And millions.
of the platform sports talk show fans on once again your Wednesday Night Sports Delight.
Really?
Or
Brinks truck backing up in his driveway with
there you go.
97 million. There you go.
All you hear is tuning in live along with the millions
And millions.
of the platform sports talk show fans on once again your Wednesday Night Sports Delight.
Really?
Or
Brinks truck backing up in his driveway with
There you go.
97 million. There you go.
all you hear is this.
It's always somebody who's doing something to give back and letting the next generation.
Say straight.
Have me tear up on here.
Come on now, don't hit me tear up. You know I get emotional.
But people watching around the world, no pressure. And we already have our favorite fan, Ms. Williams, saying welcome, Brandon.
Well, how are you? Hi, Ms. Williams.
A guy who tried to give it his all and put on for the city, to be truthful. Because like I said, I'm St. Louis die hard.
The views of Smooth does not reflect the Platform Sports Talk Show or its sponsors.
What is happening? It is your boy Smooth. It's another Wednesday. That means it's your Wednesday Night Sports Delight, the platform sports talk show. Thank you all for tuning in. Sorry for the crazy little intro. You know, like technology, you do one thing and something else happens, but we're here and it's a pleasure to be seen once again. Last week we had our 7-year anniversary of the platform sports talk show. Shouts out to Jobo for being part of the show with me and to once again the platform sports talk show family. Appreciate each and every one of y'all. And we're back at it again tonight. We have a very special guest that we'll be introducing in the next about 11 minutes or so. So stay tuned for that. Y'all already know what it is. Got to do my promo real quick. Give us that follow on Facebook, the Platform Sports Talk Show on the X, formerly known as Twitter, at 314 Sports Talk. If y'all know someone that will be an incredible guest, has a great story to tell, or you need the Platform Sports Talk Show to go out to your event, maybe get some interviews, get some footage, some coverage and everything, and show your event some love, give us the email on platformsportstalkshow@gmail.com. We also live right now on that Instagram at Platform Sports Talk. So feel free to leave comments on Facebook, on the X, on Instagram. And also, if you haven't already, go on YouTube right now, subscribe and click on that bell. So anytime we go live, you over there, You sit on the couch. You probably sitting in bed, relaxing. You probably outside enjoying the wonderful weather. You will be notified. If you can't for some reason see us, you can also hear us on Hot 365 Radio, where it is always hot. Hot365radio.com, or you can go to the app on your Apple device, iOS, or Android, and just go to the Play Store, put in Hot 365 Radio, and boom, you'll hear us in crystal high definition. The voices be sounding so amazing. Every first Wednesday of the month, you have Ladies Night, and every last Wednesday, which would be next Wednesday, you have the Man Cave. Also, the show will be uploaded right away on Instagram, on Facebook, on the X, and on YouTube. We are working on getting Roku back into the fold, so stay tuned on that as well. But once again, there's no reason that you can't check out your Wednesday night sports delight, doing it consistently now for 7 years strong. Every Wednesday, something amazing is always going down on this platform. And without any further ado, let's go ahead and bring in one of my panelists for tonight, holding things down from the Boondocks. Jobo, what's going on with you?
What is up? Happy Wednesday. I messed it up last week. I said happy Tuesday. Happy Wednesday, and it's a beautiful day. Beautiful day, good day to be alive, and I'm happy to be on the Platform Sports Talk show.
There we go. Yeah, last night it was about my wife don't know this, but it was like about midnight. I took the recycling stuff bin to the front of our driveway, and it felt so good outside. I'm like, oh, nice little breeze. Shoot, I wish I could just stay out here, but it's midnight. I got to go ahead and go to bed because I got to get ready for work and everything. But no, just, the wonderful weather, this is what it's all about, and we just want to enjoy it and live it up to the fullest. And hopefully for those out there, you being safe, not reckless, not stupid, and just enjoying what God is doing for us. So as I said before, we have a jam-packed show, a lot of stuff to discuss. And before I do that, I got to go ahead and put it out there. This Saturday, this weekend is going to be pretty busy totally for the Platform Sports Talk show. But this Saturday, yours truly, along with Coach Brittany Willis from the Ladies Night panel, we will be at the grand opening of Shoot 360 STL out there in Finn, Missouri. That's almost around your neck of the woods, Jobo.
It's where I work now.
There we go. So we'll be there. 2045 Hitzer Court in Fenton, Missouri, 63026. Once again, you see on the screen, and if you're hearing right now, 2045 Hitzer Court, Fenton, Missouri, 63026. We'll be there from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. getting footage, getting some incredible interviews. Shouts out to Brittany Carter, who y'all had on Ladies Night, Jobo, about a month ago. And look forward to this being part of the grand opening. It's going to be a who's who of people out there. It's going to be a wonderful training facility. If you're trying to get your game right, that spot is going to be one of the ones to go to. So definitely check us out if you don't have any plans this Saturday from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. So let's go ahead and get to it, Jobo, because we got a lot to discuss. Probably going to do like a part one and part two of You Now Have My Attention. What sports story or stories has your attention? You go first.
Shoot, I mean, you kind of threw me off with a pre-show. You're like, there's a lot going on, and I don't know if I'm just missing stuff or if your X feed is, set for everything sports and not just baseball, but I struggled to come up with something. Mine's a lot of hockey too. Like, oh my gosh, did you watch that Red Wings game last night? Oh man, that we can get to that when we talk about hockey later. But I came up with mine. It's nothing crazy, but the AL Central baseball, obviously. The Royals, Tigers, and Guardians are really good so far. I know it's April 17th, but they're looking pretty good. I think I said the Tigers and the Royals were going to be better this year. but they're looking really, really good so far. So I don't know. The AL Central has my attention. Honestly, it's a different um pace than what we're used to. I mean, they're some of the best teams in the league. Not even just the AL, but in the league. So, and then, like the Guardians to still be doing it after losing Shane Bieber for the year. They don't really have like a stacked lineup. They have a rookie coach and Stephen Vogt, and they're just still out there doing it. Royals and Tigers have a lot of good young talent. I think it's Tarek. I don't know, Scooble for the Tigers. He has been so freaking good. Honestly, the Cy Young could come out of the American League Central with Cole Reagans or Scooble, which is Reagans is with the Royals, Scooble with the Tigers. Again, it's crazy to pick a Cy Young favorite in April, but those guys are looking filthy. So I don't know. The AL Central has my attention because everyone put them up there with the NL Central. And right now, the American League West is ass. Like my Astros, I don't know what in the world's going on.
Wow, I didn't even realize that.
Jose Abreu needs to be DFA'd. I am being dead ass serious right now. He's not hitting, but then today he makes an error that blows the game pretty much. So it's like he's not doing anything to help the team. And I think I saw John Singleton last night had a 5-game hit streak. And as of last night, I think he got a hit today, Abreu, but as of last night, he only had 4 hits on the year. They're completely platooning him. Jose Abreu is being completely platooned right now. So I don't know what's going on. The GM and the manager and Jeff Bagwell's like, well, if you look at the back of his baseball card, no, this was all of last year too until he got to October, and then he picked it up. I went into this year thinking, you know what? He's Jose Abreu. He's going to figure it out. No, he looks so bad. It's bad. And they're literally platooning you with John Singleton. So, I don't know. If this was the Cardinals, if that was the Cardinals record on April, I'm like, they're done. They're done. But the Astros has too much talent and so many people on the IL with pitching. Like Verlander will make his debut on Friday against the Nationals. So not freaking out yet. But right now, I don't know what in the world's going on. I don't know what the hell to think.
Man, that is crazy. So on what has my attention, I have a few of them, but we have to do like a part 1 and part 2. So we got to start off with this. We heard the news, I believe it was yesterday, but definitely want to give our condolences to the great Whitey Herzog, the White Rat. Cardinals manager, also was a manager with the Kansas City Royals, made his MLB debut as a player in 1956 with the Washington Senators. But this man here, for those who don't know, or like I heard of him, but what was he about? This man revolutionized the game back in the 80s for the Cardinals. It was so amazing that he had a name. It was a nickname for the style of baseball that was so respected around not just St. Louis, but all of baseball, and that was Whitey Ball. And I heard Ozzie Smith this morning talking on 101 ESPN. He said that Whitey had 2 things that he was really honed in on and wanted to see from everyone. That was be on time, and that was play hard. And that's exactly how all of his teams were. And he scouted Ozzie Smith. Ozzie was drafted with the Padres, and he saw Ozzie. He saw the skill. He knew that Busch Stadium at the time was on turf and how the ball was to go fast. So he wanted to get an infield that can gobble up balls and can make plays. He also knew the dimensions of Busch Stadium. This is the Busch Stadium 2. He knew the dimensions. He knew that it wasn't a straight homer field, stadium. So he got players that would assist or can help to maximize that, the skill set in regards to playing a Busch Stadium. So getting guys like Okendo and getting Willie McGee and then Terry Pendleton, who my late grandmother used to always call him Boo Boo. But just Jack Clark. I mean, just amazing players. Tommy Hurd, all them guys who played and had so much respect for Whitey Herzog. So Cardinal Nation is definitely sad. They come back home on Friday, so I'm sure they're gonna probably have his number on the field or something. Probably have a patch going on for him throughout the. Well, I don't know. It is Fanatics, Joe. That they may take until next year to get a patch going on. That's a whole nother story right there. But yeah, to the great Whitey Herzog, rest in peace. I had the honor, along with my wife and mother-in-law, to go to the opening day 2 weeks ago, and he was at the game. And I took footage of him on my camera, and that was his very last game that he saw at Busch Stadium. So to say that I was there was pretty amazing. Just like I was there at the last home opener for Bob Gibson. I was also there at the last home opener for Lou Brock, and I believe Bruce Sutter as well. So a lot of Cardinal legends are leaving us, and just amazing.
Right now, I mean, off the top of my head, you could think of the Hall of Famers that are left is not that are left, but that are part of that group is Willie, Ozzie, and Ted Simmons. You know, like.
Oh, and is it John Tudor? It's someone. It's another picture from the Cardinals old school as well. That's still, that was at the Hall of Fame ceremony and everything, or at the opening day for the Hall of Fame brigade with the cars and everything. But yeah, just you're like, man, you're getting old. Seeing all these legends, slowly just passing away. But once again, our condolences, but also a thank you to the White Rat. Whitey Herzog. Any thoughts real quick, Joe?
No, it's just one thing that popped in my head whenever you were just talking is it's crazy. It's like going into this year, a lot of people were thinking like, hey, this could be kind of like the 80s when Whitey was our coach or our manager, and with the speed and the defense, and that those are things that we've been seeing with this team early on, and now Whitey leaves, but it wasn't even just Cardinals baseball that you heard of Whitey ball. I mean, obviously that's where it started, but in baseball in general, there's teams that do that. They play Whitey ball, and it is just cool that, he literally has a style of play named after him. So hopefully the Cardinals do something special for him this year. We'll see.
Yeah, like I said, it's definitely going to happen. And just an update, he passed away on the 15th, so that was on Monday. But he also is once again a Hall of Fame manager, and like I said, he changed the game and had so much respect and had his own era, the Whitey Ball era. So once again, our condolences to him, and also just a thank you for what he's done for Cardinal baseball. So. With that being said, Joe Bo, it is our time to bring in our special guest. This man here, he reached out to me, wanted to be part of the show because he has a passion for what he does. This man here, he's been coaching since 2009. He started a coach team of 7th and 8th graders. And when I say this man has a very impressive resume, I mean, he's been around the block, as they say. He's a graduate of Cardinal Ritter College Prep, class of 2002, played under the legendary Marvin Neals. He also coached at Normandy High School, where the legendary coach Preston Thomas was the head girls varsity coach. He's coached young girls, he's coached young boys, he's coached professionals, he's coached collegiate players. He's doing his thing. He has a passion for it, and he wants to get the word out about his upcoming event that is going down this Sunday that he's going to talk about very soon. Looking forward to hearing this brother's story being told because, Joe, you already know on this show, we all about getting stories told and allowing them to be transparent, keeping it 100, because you just never know who may be watching and who may be able to relate to any kind of story that's being told from our special guest. So without any further ado, get them likes, get them shares going. Let's give this man his flowers, because he's been doing this thing for quite some time, and he's not letting up anytime soon. Welcome into the show, basketball skills coach, Mr. Dominic Martin. What's going on, sir?
How you doing, man? I appreciate the intro. That was pretty cool.
You know, Shannon Sharp think he the best one, but I did it first, okay?
I hear you. I hear you originate. I hear you.
I did it first, then everyone else is like, okay, it's cool, you know what I'm saying? But thank you for being part of the show. Do me a favor, we want to make sure that we get your full screen on our picture. So turn your phone sideways.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay. Gotcha.
We need everyone to see all of you. You know what I'm saying? We got a special show tonight, and look forward to having you on, man. So once again, thank you for taking the time out to be on the show this evening. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How about yourself?
Man, can't complain. Just tell everyone real quick what was one of the main reasons why you wanted to be part of this show.
I'm a fan first and foremost. I think I seen when you I saw when you guys had Dwayne Polk on and Tony Irons on I think a couple years ago, and I just like the energy you guys had, kind of like that fun free kind of just kind of like a from a fan's perspective, but you guys are like very knowledgeable too. So it also has that kind of broadcaster like journalism feel too, but it just seems like you guys are like pure fans of just sports and getting stories out there. So
That's what's up, man. I appreciate that. And that's definitely the case. You know, we're not here to say that we know everything.
right.
We just all about wanting to bring out our passion, our knowledge. And
Right.
if you don't know something, we're gonna learn from someone else. If I don't know something about hockey or baseball, Joe can help me out with that. If something that I'm missing on football, I got the dog. Some wrestling, I got T-Bone. Whatever else it is.
Right.
So we have a wonderful crew, wonderful panel of people who know these stuff, and it's shows like this tonight that we're looking forward to hearing your story once again. As I said in the intro, it's all about being transparent, keeping it 100, that rawness, because that's what the people need, right now in this world. So looking forward to it. And Joe, did you want to say anything before we get to our first question?
No, well, welcome to the show. And I mean,
Thank
these
you.
are my favorite types of show. I love learning about people that, that we don't hear on the radio all the time, like, don't get me wrong. Love having Randy Carricker and BT and all of them from 101 on, but I love these shows. And if you watch this and seen me, I don't know a lot about basketball. So
Okay.
I get to learn something.
All right. I thank you guys for having me on. So I appreciate it.
Our pleasure. So since you already seen our show, you may know what our first question is, but I'll go ahead and ask you right now for those watching all the time. But when would you say you first fell in love with sports?
Well, I started playing T-ball with Herbert Hoover when I was like 4 or 5. But I feel like I fell in love with. I remember when I fell in love with basketball. I would say it'd be like 1994. When I remember the Houston Rockets and Knicks were playing, and that's when I kind of like just started like really tuning in on basketball and paying attention to the stars, Hakeem Olajuwon and Patrick Ewing and Kenny Smith and even like the role players more. I was just consumed like with it. Like I thought I was going to be like a sports journalist one day or sports broadcast. I just love basketball and just being around it. But I never really thought about really being a coach until I got in my 20s. But I just love the game, everything about it, just studying players, just everything. So and playing as well. I didn't start playing until I was 10. But again, I started playing T-ball when I was like 4.
Okay, I played some T-ball back in my day too. I played T-ball. Started out in Heman Park, U City.
Okay, gotcha.
Then I eventually played football for Matthews Dickey. So I was never part of the Herbert Hoover Boys Club, but I was the rival. You know what I'm saying?
Well, no, I did Herbert Hoover for like 1 year. Then I know I did Matthew Dickey. Like the next, I want to say 6 years, and I got to be 10, and that's when I just stopped playing baseball together and just focusing on basketball. But I just did the 1 year Herbert Hoover playing T-ball, from what I can remember.
Got you. So basketball, baseball, was there any other sports that you?
No, I wanted to play football. My mom wasn't having it though. She wasn't having it. Like I had coaches calling my house, leaving back in the day. You had answering machines, leaving messages, trying to get me to play. She wasn't having it, so I didn't really play. So I thought about trying to play in high school, but I was just like, nah, I ain't played when I was younger, so I didn't really want to go through that phase of maybe not being as good, so I didn't do it. But
Right.
I wish I could have played football though.
Does
Yeah,
she
'cause-
not want you to play because of injuries? Because I mean, back in the
Yeah.
day, we didn't really know about the whole CTE thing
Well,
and whatnot.
just injuries, just like she just knew the injuries were. It was something that could happen. It was more, I guess, prone to happen in football than any other sport. So she just was like, no, he's not playing. I'm my only child, so she was like, my baby's not playing football. So I couldn't do it. But I watched a lot of it growing up, but I didn't play. So yeah.
So okay, now you're honing in on basketball.
Okay.
Growing up, who would you say were some people that kind of helped you with your game, getting developed and everything?
Well, when my dad was my first coach, I went to a school called Bishop Hilly that was on the north side. It was off Kings Highway. So I played basketball there from age 10 to like 14. So like from 5th grade all the way to 8th grade. And I did that. And I went to high school and I played. And I said like another guy who was really instrumental was my JV coach Alfonso Cotton. So like I went into high school. I was like a chubby like freshman guy. We didn't have a freshman team, so I made the JV team. And my coach came up to me. He was like, I didn't like looking at you. I didn't think you gonna make the team, but you can really play. So like I can always handle the ball really well, and I always play like really hard. So but just teaching the fundamentals, like things I didn't really know. Like I credit my JV coach Alfonso Cotton for like teaching all the basics and things like that to me. So and then Preston Thomas was there my freshman and sophomore year, but he left to be a skills trainer, I guess a skills coach or skills coach for the Harlem Globetrotters. So he left in
Okay.
2000. So I didn't get a chance to play for him. And then my junior year we had Marvin Niels, and I didn't make the team my junior and my senior year. I made it. I played for Niels for 1 year. So I've had like some pretty good coaches that I played for. I feel like I was under the tutelage of, but and then also too, I grew up in an era where you play like with older people. So I played like in parks with like my dad's friends, or just older people,
Right.
and things of that nature. So it wasn't like skill training. Nobody paying for you to go to these sessions. You just played with older people, and they just taught you. So you had to stay on the court. So
And I mentioned that I think it was either last week or during our Man Cave episode. What going back in the day, like you said, I was at I went to the V and
okay,
graduated in 2000.
okay,
So I had Joe Shelton, Dwight Whitfield, Jesse Aiken, Jimmy McKinney, all, and but it was a lot of times I'll go to Fairground Park, and this is when it was safe to go ahead and do that, so without having to worry about extra supervision or worrying about that, it was straight you going out there, you meeting old heads, guys who think they still got it, whatever.
Mhm.
You go out there and you hoop for hours and hours, and
Right.
we hope that eventually it can get back to that no matter where you go. That
Right.
you enjoy the game and not have to
Right.
worry about everything else,
Mhm.
But yeah, it definitely was a fun time to do something like that and go out there and just be free and do what you love to do. So that's definitely what's up. So what position did you play?
I played point guard. Guard. I'm not tall at all. I'm like 5'6", maybe 5'7" on a good day. So I'm not that tall. So I was forced to play point guard. So yeah.
You know what? Just looking at you, you kind of remind me of the UConn point guard. What was it,
Khalid
Khalil?
Elamine. Yeah, I got called it a lot when I was growing up. So people call me Khalid Elamine. So I'm used to that. Yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. So I think I'll go ahead, Joe.
No, I mean that before we got into like what he's doing now, I was gonna ask, since you said Rockets and someone else.
The Rockets and Knicks, 94. It was a final.
So did one of those teams become your team, or did you have a team growing up? Since obviously we don't have one here.
I didn't really have a team. Like I had a team in college. I love the Arizona Wildcats. I still do to this day because of Mike Bibby and Miles Simon. But in the NBA, I've never really had a team. I've always followed players. So like my favorite player of all time in the NBA, I mean I like Jordan, but it was Iverson. Like Iverson was my guy just because of the ball handle, the swag, just everything. He just did his own thing. I love Iverson. Of course, I got older, it changed. I started liking Kobe a lot and LeBron and different guys like that. But I love Iverson. I like Penny a lot too, but I love Iverson. That was my guy. So I've been following Iverson since he was at Georgetown. He had the ankle braces on and the Concord 11 Jordans on. There's all that. So I liked Iverson.
Hey, that era at Georgetown for the Matumbo,
Yeah,
Morning, the Victor Page, Iverson, like you said, Jerome Williams.
yeah,
That era at Georgetown was why I wanted to go to Georgetown back in the day. It
yeah,
was special. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was ballers. John Thompson as the coach. I mean, that era of Georgetown basketball was special. Uh,
yeah.
so yeah, definitely shout out. Speaking of Iverson, what was your thoughts about the statue? Everyone's making a big deal about the statue, but the whole thing is that everyone from the
Yeah.
76ers have the same
That's what I
size.
was gonna say. I mean, until I got the whole context of everybody's statues that small, so it's not really a slight to Allen Iverson at all. It's just everybody's statue that size. I mean, if you didn't know that, you're thinking like, man, they did him with this injustice or whatnot. But it was, I mean, everybody's statue is that size, and it's outside the practice facility, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, but I'm glad it's not outside the actual arena being that small. But no, it's everybody's statue is small, so I get it.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So with you being the coach, I know that you have to like scout players and everything. So if you can how would you scout yourself as a high school basketball player? What would you say about yourself if you just look at the tape? You let's see about this young Dominic Martin and
Uh,
his
I
pro
was I would
time.
say I was an extraordinary ball handler. I was cerebral. I could think. I wasn't that good of a shooter. I didn't really get really good at shooting until I got went off to college and just started playing and got some kind of way started shooting better. But I can handle it. I probably could run a team. Was quick, but I would just say that somebody that could just run the team can handle the ball very well. So yeah.
So of course we all know that being a point guard is a big responsibility. Kind of like Joe, she was a catcher in high school. That's a big responsibility. So
Mhm.
was that something in regards to carrying that load, being a leader? That's something that you already had in you, or that's something that you had to pretty much grow into?
Well, I'm an only child, so I've always been I feel like a driven person. Like if you told me I couldn't do something, I would try to prove you wrong, type thing. So I've always just been I guess headstrong. It's just something that's been in me. So I feel like maybe it was just innate something in me already. But I would say sports brings that out of you. I would say that basketball made me have heart and just always fight for what you want and stick to stuff. And never give up and finish things through.
And what would you say was some of your best moments while in high school at Carmen Ritter?
Um, some of my best moments. Well, when I played Nils, well, I'm cool with him now, but I mean, in high school, I had a kind. I didn't. The relationship was kind of rocky because I didn't play a whole lot. Like he only played about 8 people, but I mean, just watching. We had a guy named Ken Burke that was extraordinary. So just watching him do his thing. He had a few game winners. I think he had a 40-point game my senior year. He was a junior. Just being a part of that, getting to play at the Kill Center. They used to have a shootout at the Kill Center every year.
Yes, sir. I was there too. Yep.
Yeah, and we got to play in that my senior year. So just doing things like that. Um, what else? I remember we played at UMSL at a Martin Luther King Day. Then we played against Blake Ahern, who was the assistant coach for the Grizzlies. I remember he showed out. He Pistol Pete Maravich out there. He was doing all kind of tricks and stuff. He was killing. And I think that was one of our I think we only had 2 losses. One year that was one of our few losses we had. But yeah, I would say those two things kind of really stood out as far as me playing at Cardinal.
So I've already explained it a few times to people, but from your perspective, because I'm sure you was there, talk about those good old days of having the Christmas tournaments at Normandy High School.
Oh yeah, also too. Yeah, we played in the Christmas time. We won that my senior year. I think we beat Chicago Dunbar, but
Mm.
the environment was crazy. A lot of people there, a lot of fans, a lot of excitement, a lot of area teams. The Normandy tournament is legendary. So this is like say you have juice in the building. I always had some juice in the building, like a lot of excitement, a lot of things amped up. Just everybody just trying to play and and put on for the city and do big things. So the Normally tournament was huge. I wish they could get it back like that. That would be big time. So I remember like the last time I went was like 2012. I think Terrell Ramey, who was a big basketball guy here in St. Louis doing things, he had something. I think he had something to do with it, and he helped get it back. And because I was working at Normie at the time and teaching, but it was teams from Memphis. It was kind of gave you that old feel of how it was back in the day. I remember Cam Bishai was playing in it. God rest his soul, a player from Quadron who passed
Oh,
away
yeah.
about 2 or 3 years ago. Well,
Right.
no, I think that was probably what year was that? That was like about 3 years ago, 2021. He was playing in it. He was like a junior. Well, now he's a senior at that time, but that was that year, 2012, and they played against Tony Iron's team at Imagine, and that was a really good game. And they Imagine beat Quadron, but yeah, that was the last time I remember it being like that. That was 2012. I want to say it was. Yep.
Do you feel that there's something close to what Normandy High School brought with the Christmas tournament that's going on nowadays with high school games and tournaments?
Well, I do a lot of stuff on the girls' side. I've coached more on the girls' side, but you got the visitation tournament, the Viz tournament.
Okay, yeah,
That's pretty live. Normally, you got in Corner Words, you got Courtney Ritter in there. You got Live for Life girls are in there. You got I think Hickman came from Sprint from Columbia. They're in there. Who else? You got like your Parkway North. You got St. Joseph's, like all the premier girls teams around the area. That's the energy in that is cool. John Burroughs has a good team. Because this past year I think it was John Burroughs and Courtney Word in the championship game. That was pretty good. But as far as the girls side, I would say that tournament is pretty live as far as like an area tournament. But on the boys side, you had the coaches versus cancer. I think that's at Merrimack, and then you also have the Legends of Winter tournament down in Slough. But as far as like how the Normie tournament was, like it's nothing that can, like right now. I think that's like on that level that's going on. A lot of the better teams go like to the they may go out of town or something for Christmas and play the better
yeah.
team. You know what I
Just
mean?
say that. I know that Highland shootout been kind of interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good. I haven't been there yet because I'm always coaching or doing something. But yeah, that's normally like in January or something like that. But I think it's like the tournament of champions. I think the Vashon was there. And that's like in somewhere in Illinois. They normally in that around that time. I don't want to say New Madrid or maybe that's during Thanksgiving they have a tournament. But yeah, it would be cool if they can get that Normandy tournament back going because that's I always say that's one of the better venues is that Normandy High School gym. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So to play in, you
def-
that feel.
definitely a lot of history there. A lot of great basketball players who came through there and did their thing.
Yeah.
So let's go right into college. What college did you go to?
Um, I straight out of high school, I went to Mizzou for a couple years. Went to Harris Stowe. Been to Florida. I've been to a lot of different schools. I always say but as far as like when I was in Mizzou, we had some of the best like runs as far as in the rec center. Like it was guys all over the country that was playing. I used to be playing up there, and it was some really good basketball. But I went to those three schools for college. So I'm currently trying to finish school. So I'm in the process of trying to do that. So
That's what's up. And it's funny how you mentioned Mizzou because my wife and I was out in Columbia this past Sunday, and she went to Mizzou,
okay.
and so she wanted to check out some of the new stuff that's been going on.
Man, yeah.
One that we went to was the Student Rec Center, and
Okay.
it was officially open in 2005, a year after she already left. So she couldn't really,
Oh wow.
she saw it getting built, but couldn't be part of it. So we went inside, and when I say that facility is
Yeah, it's super nice. Yeah.
amazing.
Super
So
nice.
I take it that you've been to Missouri, a lot since your time in college, especially with you being a coach and everything, and checked out the campus and stuff now.
Yeah, I've been back a couple times. Been to a couple football games since I've left there, but I haven't been back a lot. But I've been there a couple times to watch some football games. So yeah.
Yeah, it's really an amazing experience, and definitely want to encourage those who are putting not saying I'm good on it, but
Mhm.
put the college experience up there. definitely just check out different colleges and see
Yeah.
the environment, because you may be missing out something very special, especially with you going from being young to being an adult, being younger to adulthood. And just that experience, just seeing it for me, and I'm I'm up there now in my 40s. It was like, man, if I would have experienced this on my own, man, that just would have been a game changer. I mean, when I say workout rooms,
Yeah.
spas, world,
Mhm.
just anything and everything, Joe. They have rock climbing in
Yeah.
there. I'm like, what the world? Dancing classes and boxing, whatever. Anything that you're trying to learn, they pretty much had there. So it's like, people, take college serious and enjoy and embrace it. You
Yeah.
know,
I always tell kids try to get out their comfort zone, like just go somewhere where you can, grow. And because
right?
I went to predominantly all black schools, so it was just different. Just being around different races and ethnicities and just people with different cultures and just and I still have friends I talk to that I went to Mizzou with. So, just getting another circle of friends and just knowing and just finding things out about yourself. So I always tell kids, because I teach now, I just tell them, just to get out your comfort zone and get somewhere and just try to do some different things, and find out some things about yourself.
Exactly. So you brought up teaching. Let's talk about first coaching. What led you into wanting to become a coach?
I don't know, I just always loved basketball. So I remember just being in my 20s and I was telling my mom I wanted to coach. So I was working at Sprint at the time, and I remember a lady at this church, Mount Zion. I guess she was the head of the organization that had like ran a basketball team and stuff. And she was telling my mom I needed a coach, but at the time I was working at Sprint, I couldn't do it. But I ended up not working at Sprint, so I ended up like taking on the challenge of coaching the 7th and 8th grade. So in my mind, I'm thinking like, okay, I'm gonna try to run all these plays and all that kind of stuff. But that wasn't the case. A lot of these kids that never even play organized basketball. So we were in the league at Herbert Hoover, and we ended up playing like 10 games. I think we went like 1-9. But I remember like after the third or fourth game, all the parents came to the practice. They were like, what's going on? Like they ain't win a game. And so like at the time, my boy Brandon Gilmore, who was a senior, he used to coach at
Yeah.
Hazelwood Central. Yeah, head. Yep. He was a senior when I was a freshman at Quantum. So like they gave you like a big brother or a big sister. And he was my big brother. So I was like, man, what should I be doing? And he was like, man, just teach them skill stuff. And so like I just basically started just teaching them basically how to do jump stops and ripping through, going 1-2 dribble stuff, just shooting. And like they got better. And that's when I kind of learned, like with a lot of teams, I know a lot of coaches coach to win, but you got to coach to like make sure your team gets better. Like sometimes you got to just look at the overall progress, because it won't show in wins and losses, but it'll show just by how you seeing them improving and seeing their basketball acumen growing and things of that nature. So yeah, so that was pretty fun that year. I coached them in 2009 and 10. 2000, yeah, I think it was 2010 I coached them. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
So, Joe, I know that you had a question to the special guest from Ladies Night, Tiffany Spain, that you always wanted to ask coaches. If you recall the question that you asked her, if not, I can do it for you.
I don't remember. What did I ask?
So I'll go ahead and ask Dominic. What is some one of the special moments of being a head coach?
What are some of the special moments of being a head coach?
Yeah,
Um, just I love like giving kids confidence, and then like you tell them they can do something, and they're like, no, I don't know if I can do it, and you just see like them grow and just get better over the season, and just just to have just the camaraderie you have with your guys or the girls you coach, and it's just like I may be on warp differently, but I love playing on the road, like going somewhere in a hostile environment and getting a win, like that's everything to me. So just doing those things, but just seeing the kids grow, not only on the court but like off the court, just seeing them grow up as people. Like I see kids now, they working like regular jobs and they're adults. I'm like, wow, like I remember you was 16 and I was 26. Now I'm 39, about to be 40, and you 26. So it's just see how times fly, but just see them. I always tell them like my job is to help you like use basketball as a vehicle to help you become a better person. And you may or may not go on to play on a college level or do things, but I just want you to use this as something that can, make you better in life, and give you a circle of friends that maybe you can always count on, the people you had in your life you didn't. So, and I just like the mentoring aspect. it's just being a part of the teacher, just, to always be there to help kids, so because you never know what these kids are going through, man. You know what I mean? So they need people to talk to and things to, get out frustration, and sports is a big thing that can do that.
Yeah, seeing them cross that finish line has to be a great thing.
Yeah, no doubt. Yep.
So let's go back to you coaching the church team, 7th and 8th grade boys.
Yep.
I just want to get a little behind the scene more in depth.
Okay.
So was there a moment that you was like, man, maybe coaching ain't for me?
Yeah, it was a few moments. It was just one. It was a few of them. I remember just getting like blown out and just getting like just killed. Because I remember like at that time, I think Jason Tatum, they had a team in that league, and I think he may have been like, I think Tatum may have been like in the 6th or 7th, like 5th or 6th grade. And they were playing up, and they beat us pretty bad. And just it was a couple times I'm like, man, I don't know, I'm cut out for this. You know what I mean? Like I just didn't know. Just a couple moments just getting beat like that, but I stuck with it. You know what I mean? Of course, but it just those moments where you're getting beat by 30, 40, or you just seem like you can't get it right. You know what I mean? So just things of that nature.
Who would you credit as being that person that you can kind of like tap on the shoulder for that guidance? Like, hey, keep going. This person said, keep doing it. Keep pushing yourself. You got it.
Well, I could just say, like my dad, like it's only like I don't want to sound arrogant. It's only like a few people I go to, like, or I have like basketball questions, but like my dad, my old JV coach, Alfonso Cotton, Preston Thomas, who was the legendary coach at Cardinal Red, who got his name on the floor and everything. Him, I talked to him a lot about basketball. Just people like that, just talking to them about, different things. Just they just help me out, and they're just, really inspiring and keep me going.
So talk about now on the flip side. When was that moment? This is still 7th and 8th grade. When was the moment that you was like, okay, yeah, now I belong. I'm getting it now. It's getting there. It's clicking.
When I had like people who were going to the church, or just people who were just around us in practice coming up to me, I guess parishioners of the church are like, man, I see the improvement in the kids. I see them getting better. I see their skill getting better, and people were just telling me that. I'm like, oh, thank you. So that's when I was kind of, okay, maybe I am doing something right. Yeah.
That's dope. So as I was going through the intro earlier, you've been around, coaching at Lutheran North, coaching at Troy High School, once again at Normandy,
right.
Cardinal Ritter College Prep, let's see, Missouri Baptist University, Metro High School as recently as last year. And you coach boys, you coach girls. Put you on the spot, but hey, this is what we do. Do you have a preference? Coaching boys, coaching girls?
I prefer girls. People get mad, but I always say like females are the smarter race. Like I say this all the time. Look, I see Joe back there, but no, I was like girls. Like I feel like females strategize and they think more so before they react. Like boys, we're more so like we see, we go do type thing. I always say like God even it out by giving females emotion. Like who want for that? Like we'd be like in trouble as men. But I prefer girls. I just like the girls' game because it's more of a pure form. Like boys can get away with things by being athletic, but it's like you got girls who are athletic too, but they're not like on the rim like that. How boys are. So you got to be very fundamentally sound. You got to set screens the proper way. So I prefer the girls. You know what I mean? I'm loving what I'm seeing now as far as the girls, the women's game with the NCAA, championship game and the numbers it got and doing how well it did. That's really something that makes me happy to see the women finally getting that shine. They've been doing that thing for a minute.
So Jobo, since he said women are smarter and everything, I'm gonna go ahead and fall back and have you be the host of the show.
No, I ain't mean like that though. I ain't mean like that at all. Yeah.
No, it's definitely all good. So, of course, being a coach, you're growing into that mode of not just being a coach, but being a father figure to these players. Tell us about that feeling of having that responsibility of being that father figure.
It's big time, especially when you're coaching like urban kids, inner city kids, because a lot of them don't have, their father. I know, like maybe 10 years ago, I think I saw it was, the most marriages, like I think 50% in a divorce. So like you got a lot of homes out there where there's no dad. So especially like young men, they look to coaches and maybe teachers as that person. Just to give you a story, before I started teaching, I was like a homework helper at this at the Bay Library, and this kid came up to me, and I was, he's always coming there and talk to me. He's like, man, other than my dad, like I come to you for advice. So that's what kind of like really got me like wanting to do like the teaching and just being a mentor, because these kids need somebody to talk to. They need guidance, they need direction, and people don't understand it takes a village. It's not just mom and dad or an aunt and uncle or grandmother or grandfather. It takes like everyone. You know what I mean? So, because I remember being in places back in the day where you'll see somebody say something to you to correct you, and you might not even know them, but it's just being a part of that village and feeling like you had a responsibility to say something and correct a young person. You know what I mean? So I wish we could get back to that, because these youngsters need it. But sometimes the youngsters may not want to hear you say nothing. They may get smart with you. So I understand people not want to say nothing to them, but it takes a village to really raise a child. You know.
So, as a coach, what has been probably like your proudest achievement in regards to the biggest win that you probably had as a coach, whether it's a head coach or assistant coach or just being part of the staff?
You mean like biggest win as far as like just on the court, like it's a team or whatnot?
Right.
Um, uh, I would say it was this past year. We played against Career Academy. So, if people don't know about Metro, um, under Gary Glasgow, they were like one of the best programs in the state. They won um two state championships. They won two state championships. Went to state like 5 times. But he resigned back in 2021, and they hadn't beat Career Academy since then. So we played them in 2023, and we were down 25 to we were down 20-5, I think, at the end of the first quarter or something like that. And we came back and won 35-30. So that was like the biggest win I feel like I had as a coach. Just seeing that, and that's a really good coach, Darren White at Career Academy. He's been to state, I think, like 3 or 4 times at Career Academy. That's a program that's known for producing really good girls teams. So to me, that was my biggest win, just as a coach, just coming back from that deficit. And it had been a struggle just getting them to learn how to compete and fight and stay in games like that, you know. So to me, that was my biggest win this past year.
That's dope. Who would you credit? I know you brought up your previous JV coach and being under Marvin Neals and Preston Thomas at the time, but who would you credit as a coach that you kind of like wanted to emulate, or you seen someone in the pros like Phil Jackson or something that you was like, man, I want to kind of take what he does, what she does, and then bring it to what I do.
It's a lot of different coaches. So I watch a lot of stuff on YouTube, a lot of team practices. So so just like offensively, I love the Princeton offense. So like you take it back old school, Pete Carrera, he was the inventor of that. So he did a lot of stuff like that. The old John Thompson's son, when he was at Georgetown, he taught the Princeton offense. A lot of the NBA concepts and stuff are like out of the Princeton, with the backdoor cuts and split action at the elbow, different things of that nature. But just that, as far as like pressure defense, like that's something that Marvin Neals, he really like honed into. We did a lot of shell drill in high school. We always talk about pressure on the ball, and also just Preston Thomas. Like he's a huge proponent of the triangle offense. Like I like the triangle, but I feel like you got to have a certain personnel, maybe like big wings, big guards to run it, or it's the big, you know what I mean? But if you don't have the right personnel to run it, but he believes in running it with anybody. But just learning spacing and things of that nature through that kind of helped me out a lot. But yeah, with defense, I credit Marvin Neals, Anthony Hall, who I coached under at Lutheran North. He's a former college coach. He was the head coach at Avila and some other college schools, other colleges and universities. And just been around those guys. But as far as like one coach, like, I take things from everybody. Like, this season I went to go see Dan Ross. I went to one of his practices in the Corner Word. Went to go see them practice, and picked up some drills. Like that's one thing about me. Like if I don't know something, I'll go to a school or somebody that I admire. I go watch them practice and get drills and learn stuff. You know what I mean?
So how does that work? You know, going to other coaches just like yourself and checking out their practices. You know, you getting that okay to, be a part of what they're doing with their programs. How does that work?
So I try to go to teams where I don't play during the season. So I know we didn't play in Pointed Word. So I'm like, I don't go and I know I got to play them or anything like that. So, and I think I had Dan's number some kind of way already. So I just went and checked it out. Like, so I grew up with Tony Irons. We went to the same middle school. My dad coached us in middle school. So I used to go a lot of his practice when I first started coaching. And if it was a year I wasn't coaching, I just missed being around basketball. I'd go to LaShine and watch them practice. Things of that nature. Like even I have a report with all the coaches on the SLU women's side. I've been to about 6, 7, maybe 8 practices this year and just watched them practice and picked up drills and just learned. And Coach Tillett, she's letting me come and watch film with them. Like whenever I come to practice, I can watch film with them. So just having the blessing of being around great people like that who see, I guess, my passion and that I love it. And they just willing to share the game with me. And that's like one of the reasons too, I know we're gonna get to it later, me wanting to do the coach thing, just wanting to share the love of, basketball to those who want to, learn and help it grow.
So Don Staley let everyone know during the tournament that throughout the season she would have men, not like from the basketball team, but just men from just college or who maybe was part of the staff, like cleaning or whatever, and have them be part of the practice so they can learn about running plays, but having that physicality.
Right.
Not just playing women. Is that something that you do with your girls teams as well, or try to incorporate more?
I've never really done it, but I thought about doing it. I've never really done it. It's something that I would do, but that's a good idea. I know at most colleges they have like men that just like kind of walk-ons that are coming, practice against your girls. It's just so they can get used to the physicality. But I think that's a good idea. I think it's something that I will do in the future. You know what I mean? So. But I've never done it before though. But I think it's something that's cool and something you can do. So
let's talk about this picture right here. When you see this, man, how does it make?
It makes me feel good. I feel like I left a really good imprint on the program. You know what I mean, with the girls and just being a part and of them and just doing good things there. Yeah.
It also shows how it's a small world because I know old boy to the left. What's his name?
Was it Corey Ivy?
Corey. Okay.
Yeah. I've been knowing him since I was like 6. He grew up behind me, and the house right behind me. So yeah, I've been knowing him a long time.
Yeah, that's my dude, man. Next time you talk to him, tell him I said what's happening. I can't recall how long ago it's been, but we did run across each other somewhere, and I was like, "Oh, what's going on?" So
okay,
that's right there. But yeah, that's the Metro Panthers, correct?
Yes, correct.
And this was from last year, is that correct?
Correct. Yep, it's last year.
Cool. That's what's up. So you got from coaching to taking it even more serious, being a basketball skills trainer. Just talk about what led you into being a basketball skills trainer.
It's just some. I mean, as a kid, I didn't have like a coach that like I dribbled around furniture in the basement. Mom yelling at me. In my backyard we had stumps all on the right side, so I had to go left. Like it's just different obstacles, and just like having an imagination. So I just got into it around like 2011, 2012 when I was at Normandy, and just started working out my girls that I coached at Normandy and different boys that went to Normandy, just different kids, and then I guess the word of mouth, I started getting more and more clientele. But it's just something I've been doing for I guess what's like 12 years now. So, but I live like one-on-one. So like, I don't really like big groups per se. I like having maybe 5 or 6 kids at the most. Sometimes I really enjoy having one, even though I don't know you want to make money and do things like that. But if I just like the detail of just breaking you down as a player. You know what I mean? Fundamentally, just looking at your feet, balance, things of that nature, just breaking you all the way down.
So I know that you've been training for, I see, 13 years, kids and pros. So who are some of the pros that you helped train?
Well, like one of the first guys who I know who like played overseas, a guy named Connell Crossland. He played at Hazelwood Central and played at TSU. I like worked him out a couple times. Even when like 2013, Jimmy McKinney, we used to always be playing. I worked him out a few times. Like Terry Evans, that went to Quadna Ritter, just guys like a couple of those names like that. So, yeah.
So when it comes to being a trainer, I'm pretty sure you already have your name out there. But what about for those who may not know you that well, and you're trying to gain their trust and their respect? How do you go about doing it?
By just their kids. Just being real personable with them. So what I do is every kid I train, I go to at least like one or two of their games. I'm not just gonna take your money and just have your child just come to my training session. I just work them out. Like I want to see what they need to work on in their games and stuff like that. So I'll come see them play. So I'll go and watch them to see what they need to work on, things of that nature. So.
And for those interested in one-on-one sessions or small group sessions, how can they reach out to you to make that happen?
I'll give you my cell phone numbers. 314-665-8776. 314-665-8776. Or my email is dmartin, DMARTIN. The number is 845@gmail.com.
There we go. So no excuses. Get that training in. Get that work. Jobo, if you got some thoughts on hit that court. We already got a connection right now.
Right.
Oh Lord! I played basketball in CYC, and I think I played like one game. I fouled too many people, and I was done. I was like, I'm done. I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, I
But
grew up playing CYC too, so yeah, I'm already knowing.
yeah, CYC. I feel like just about everyone did that, and it's barely around now because all the parishes and whatnot are closing.
Right.
But you were talking earlier, and again, I learned things whenever we have coaches on and whatnot. You mentioned triangle offense. As for someone who doesn't know basketball, what is that?
So the triangle offense is it's basically like you go through the post, so you do things through like it's 3 different levels of the post. It's the high post, which is like at the elbow. You kind of run your plays through, or the motion through, or the mid post, which is kind of like in the it's hard to describe. Like they're like the second hash, like in the middle, and then the low post. So it's like high, low, and mid post. Those are the 3 kind of areas. But on the Bulls back in the day used to run it with Jordan, and then the Lakers ran it a lot with they ran it with Phil Jackson and Kobe and Shaq. So that kind of explains it without me going into like really big details about it. So.
All right, yeah, as a lot of people know that watches the show often, Jason Tatum, he's about all I want to know about basketball because 1, he's from the Lou, and 2, he's easy on the eyes. He's easy on the eyes.
Yeah, Jason's a superstar, so hopefully he can get him a ring this year. That'd be really awesome if he could.
So earlier you brought up the Knicks, the Rockets in that era. That was an amazing time.
Yeah.
Do you feel that the Rockets era basketball should have a asterisk because Jordan retired those couple of years?
No, I don't think so. I mean, you can only help play who you have in front of you. They can't help that Jordan retired. That's how I feel. And they were those 2 teams were really good teams. You know what I mean? I missed the '90s and kind of early 2000s basketball back when people actually shot the mid-range shot. It was all 3 and layup and 3 and dunk. What do you call it? Analytical guys, which I believe in a little analytics, but not like a lot. I believe kind of half and half. You got to have a feel for the game and analytics. I feel like a lot of these analytic guys never really played basketball. They kind of just were just, I don't know, maybe fantasy basketball guys or something like that, and they just go by the numbers. But I feel I feel like you got to take the best available shot more so than go by analytics. You know what I mean? So I don't like long twos, but there's nothing wrong with just getting to your spot, getting to that mid range and knocking down the shot. There's nothing wrong with that at all. So.
See, now I'm learning something new again because I did it. When I think of analytics in a sport, I'm thinking baseball, and I hate it. I didn't know there's analytics in basketball too.
Oh, big time. That's why you see a lot of guys shooting threes now. It's either threes or layups or threes or dunks. They don't believe in the mid range. because they say the mid-range shot is a low percentage shot, but I'm like, if you don't take it, you know what I mean, it's going to be low percentage. You're not taking a lot of shots in that area, but I still believe in taking the mid-range shot. I don't just like the three and the just shooting the three and layup only. I believe in just being versatile and scoring at all three levels, which is at the rim, the mid-range, and at the three. So, and just ball movement. So, I guess I'm kind of old school. I like kind of old school motion offenses and things of that nature too. So, like a lot of ball movement, a lot of movement on the weak side. So, just things of that nature. So,
So our man cave host Ken left said something pretty controversial. Maybe not. We'll see how you feel about it. Then I left on a post probably about a month or so back. But he pretty much is blaming Steph Curry for how these kids are now playing basketball. How he was brought up analytics and shooting threes. Want to shoot from half court, want to shoot from this, whatever. You go down on a 3-on-1 break, and you want to shoot 3-pointers instead of shooting a free throw. What do you say to people like Stan or those who want to blame Steph Curry for the style of basketball being played right now?
I'm not gonna blame Steph because Steph didn't. Steph put in the worst way to do that. But I know last night I watched the game, so it was the Pelicans and the Lakers. And what's the guy? Jose. What's his name? Alva. What's his name? Alva. The kid from he played at Georgia Tech. The little guy with the braids, about 5'10", real small. Yeah. He came. He's on a fast break, and he had a layup, and he passed it to the 3-point line after getting in the paint to let it up, and it got stolen by D'Angelo Russell. And like I'm huge on momentum, so that could have been a momentum shift that helped them win the game. But he passed it out because it's like I don't want this layup. I'm gonna pass so they can get a 3 type thing. And I'm just like, man, you could have just laid that up. Like it was right there at the rim. And D'Angelo Russell stole it. They went down and got a shot. But just stuff like that. But now I don't blame Steph Curry at all. I can see how people say that because the kids see it. I mean, even when you go to games, like you see kids warming up, you used to see them like starting like closer to the basket, warming up. Kids just shooting threes now. Just all threes, just warming up, shooting threes. I'm like, man, this is horrible. Like you're not using the whole court. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's an advantage to that.
And correction is Jose Alvarado.
Yeah, it's his name. Yeah.
The pitcher for the Phillies.
Oh wow.
That's their closer. Though you're talking about this, and I think I've said it on here before. I watch it every year. One Tree Hill. I don't know if y'all seen it, but whenever Nathan Scott has a kid later on, it's Jamie Scott and Q. He breaks his hand, and he's usually dunking and whatnot, but he breaks his hand, and now he's kind of just a guy that just passes it, and he's like, well, 3s are better than 1, Dad, or 2, and that was back in like 2012 whenever that was brought up.
Right. Yeah. I just like the whole court being used, and it's a game of rhythm. So it's like if I just come down and shoot, like I don't have a rhythm. So if that shot's not going, like pass, get it away. Pass, screen away, and it'll come back. It'll come back around too. Like the ball has energy, but you just can't come down and just take a bad shot like that. Like you gotta move it and then let it get back to you. You gotta sink in the defense and then kick it out. So there's a lot of different things. I don't know. I like the new basketball, but I like the spacing in it. But just some of the ways people play, I'm like, I don't like that. So
we have a question from our favorite fan, Miss Dub. She says, "Why would the mid range be lower percentage than a 3-point?"
I think my thing is I got a friend. He's very analytics. My guy Scott Powers, we talk about this all the time. He's like he calls like the Jordan days, like the caveman days. But I'm like, man, I feel like it's not taking a lot. The shot's not taking a whole lot. You may have let's say a guy takes 18 shots. He may take 2 shots from the mid range, and he may take 8 shots at the rim, and then take the other 8 behind the 3-point line. So like the chance of it being a high percentage shot is not gonna be that high if you don't take a lot of them. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, I wonder if Bunny was on the show, if she would agree with him on this stuff. Just because I know baseball's different than basketball.
Right.
but I'm more so of a old school baseball type of gal. Obviously, I'm like slowly inching my way towards the newer age. It can be exciting, but I mean, we were just talking about Whitey Herzog before you came on. That's old school baseball. A lot of people enjoyed that. So I wonder how Bunny would have thought, going listening to this of you being like, you don't really like the analytics. This Bunny is all about how baseball's being played right now. I'm not sure how she feels about basketball and other sports.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think it's some good things that can come out of analytics. Like I like kind of like plus or minus. Like it could tell, like if how the team's doing you on the court, things of that nature. I'm a big proponent like the hockey assist. That's the pass that leads to the assist. So it's not the actual personal pass, but it's like the pass before the pass, like things of that. Looking up analytics stuff like that. But like, and I feel like you got to have like a feel for the game, and you got to like have a pulse for it and know what to do and what moves to make.
So, are there players right now, whether it's men or women, that you're telling your players who you're training, who you're coaching, like, hey, look at what he is doing, look at what she is doing?
Yeah, I like Juju Watkins a lot. I love her. I love her feet. I love her the hesitation, how she changes on speeds. I'm training my cousin now. He plays at Cardinal. He's a freshman, but I tell him like, look how she changes speeds. Like she'll pause, hesitate, go. Like hesitate, go. How low she stays. Just different things like that. I like Kawhi Leonard. I love Kawhi Leonard again. He's very fundamentally sound. He's 1-2 dribble, pull up, get to his spots, things of that nature. I like Tatum. I feel at times he takes too many threes, but I love Tatum's game. I watch a lot of podcasts and stuff, and it's a podcast called Point Forward with Andre Iguodala and Evan Turner, and they kind of set him down and was just telling him like, "Hey man, if you just got to your spots and posted up or caught the ball at the elbow or the mid post and 1-2 dribble, would it be more efficient just to get a bucket that way?" They just breaking the game down to him. But who else do I like? Who I enjoy watch play. I like Caitlin Clark. I love her passing actually more than I love her shooting. I like how she passes ahead, and she always hits the big that's rim running, things of that nature. I like Angel Reese. I love her energy. I think she can just like change momentum of a game by just like her energy. That's one thing I'm huge on as a coach is just like energy. Like sometimes we'll come in the huddle and the other team being on the run, I can just tell our faces down. I just tell everybody just to clap just to get that energy right because energy is huge. You know what I mean? When it comes to your team, like energy, I'm huge on energy and like energy and like attitude or energy and attitude. Like guys had the right attitude, even if things are going bad, just fighting through adversity because you're gonna have that. So, who else can I think of that I like on the men's side? I keep peeking over into this Heat Sixers game right now. It's like a tie. Yeah. Who else do I like? I'm trying to think. Who else do I like? It's hard. Like I said, I caught myself watching a lot more women's than I did men's this year. I like Damian Lillard. I like Giannis, Steph, those guys like that. But I really don't watch. I don't watch a lot of NBA until like the playoffs. They don't play enough defense for me. It's too much high scoring. I don't see a lot of defense being played. So I watch a lot of college basketball. A lot of college basketball on women's and men's side. Then I start watching NBA like now, but during the season I don't watch a lot of NBA because I'm like, there's no defense. It's irritating to me. So I just turn it off.
Got you. I understand. So I saw behind you in your backdrop on the windowsill a card that said "Dad." Or are you a dad?
Yeah. I have a little girl, Kennedy. Kennedy will be 14 this year. So you're very observant, I see. So
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Girl dad. So unfortunately we lost Kobe Bryant, but he pretty much like made that hashtag girl dad that much more special. So just tell everyone about how does it feel being a girl dad, especially during these times that we're living in.
I think it's very important, crucial, paramount, whatever word you want to use. Because I feel like a father is a very important person in the girl's life, she has to see that male, figure. And sometimes they don't have it. They look for it in other men, and it might not be in their best interest to do that. Just to be there, just for your daughter or just any girl. I think it's big just to have that influence to talk to them about life and just talk to them about things that they may be going through, or just they have like issues maybe with their self-esteem, or just have questions. You could just talk to them. So I think it's big. You know what I mean? Just having that fatherly influence. You know what I mean? So not just for boys, but for girls too. So.
And staying on that, having influence in regards to these times. To talk about from your perspective, coaching players from when you first started to now, and how a lot has changed in regards to self-esteem, to social media, to peer pressure. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. I mean, when I first started coaching in 2009, I don't think Twitter and I think Twitter may have just started, but like Facebook wasn't that big yet, or Instagram or things of that nature. Just because I taught at Roosevelt 2 years ago, so it was like an incident of a football player, and he had like recorded some girl doing some stuff, and it was just bad. I'm just like, man, like you got to be smarter than that. Talking to the guy and the girl, and I just felt bad for the girl because she didn't want herself put on video like that or anything. But it's just different things that you got to deal with. Like I didn't have to deal with it in high school. You know what I mean? Like I don't think I got my first cell phone until I was like a senior in high school, and I don't think it was a video phone. It just something I can just like text and talk on. So it's just a whole new thing. So just kids got to watch what they put on their social media, and because college coaches are looking at that, or even like when you get out to the work field, your bosses, people are looking at what you put on your social media. So you got to be cognizant of like what you do or what you got put out there. You know what I mean?
How much of a game changer has the transfer portal and NIL been in regards to affecting high school players now?
I think it's huge because a lot of these college coaches aren't. They're looking for high school kids, but they're not. They rather go in the portal and get a grown man, get somebody that's 22, 23 years old that can play for you 1 year, and you can be competitive and get to a championship or go deep in the playoffs or whatever. As opposed to getting an 18-year-old that you got to maybe wait 2 or 3 years for them to get to that level to learn how to be competitive like that and learn your system or learn how to play. So unless you're like a top like level high school player, a lot of these guys in the transfer portal are taking some of these spots from these high school kids to get recruited. You know what I mean? But it's also a downside. Like I'm hearing like a lot of these kids in transfer portal don't get picked up either way. And it's funny you say I just tell someone I'm like everybody's like, well, the one and done stuff is a wrap. I'm like, well, I mean it worked like maybe once or twice. I mean, Calipari, he won a championship with Anthony Davis and all those guys in 2012. But I'm like, in sports in general, like youth doesn't win. Like he got lucky. Well, I'm not gonna say look, he just had a really good group of kids that jail, and they put their self over the team. And most young kids, when they're freshmen, they're not ready to really do that. So, but he had some good kids that did that, and they won a national championship. But for the most part, experience wins. Like veteran leadership, even in professional ranks or amateur ranks, it always wins. You always win with experience. So
That's what's up. That's what's up. Once again, we have coach, trainer, Mr. Dominic Martin on the platform Sports Talk Show. I am your boy Smooth, along with.
Joe.
There we go. This has been an incredible interview. And I want to ask this question before we get to this Sunday. Let's say you have a slew of kids coming in for the first day of training with Dominic Martin. Do you have like a certain speech, or what's something that you just kind of like we want to set the tone for when they first come in, arriving to your training class or sessions?
I guess afterwards I talk to him. I huddle him up, but beginning I really don't. I'm just trying to watch and see what you need to improve on, and just going over things like I say, footwork, like your balance, just seeing what you need to work on as far as like ball handling, things of that nature. And afterwards, I'll sit you down and I'll talk to the group and tell them, hey, this is why we're here. You're going to make mistakes, or even during the session, just tell them, hey, you're going to make mistakes. Why you're here to get better. And just certain things I just like. I don't like when kids say the word can't. Like I'm like, don't say can't. Like I'm a huge proponent of whatever you say or your words, the power of the tongue. So like, never say you can't. You can just try to figure it out, but don't say you can't, because you say you can't, you're not gonna be able to do it. So just I'm a huge proponent of like just words and just energy. Like even when like you're shooting a free throw, I'll say like, if you make it, stay there. But if you miss it, bag up, take a deep breath, get away from that, come back to it. So just little things like that. But as long as you're working hard and trying with me, man, like that's all I can ask for.
So, two-part question, because we know that on basketball teams, not everyone can make the squad. You're gonna have people who just fall short. How do you go about that process of eliminating people? Was it a time where you was like, man, it's kind of hard to do? I don't want to hurt this person's feelings. When did you start, getting comfortable doing that? And then also, has there been a moment where you look down the line like, oh man, maybe I shouldn't have cut this girl or this boy?
Well, I've never really had to cut. Like, only time I remember we had to cut was at Lutheran North, but I've never really had to cut a lot of kids where I was, because I've always been kind of at smaller schools. So like that's the only time I remember having to cut. But it sucks like having to cut, a kid. But I mean, I've had some times where I'm like, man, I remember like at Lutheran, I was like, man, I wish you could have kept that kid or something like that. But I always encourage kids, if you want to be around it, be a manager, or you can help us out with stats or something like that. If you want to be around it, you know what I mean. Even for people like, and that's one thing I wish I could have like learned. Even though I wasn't playing in quarterback like my senior year a lot. Like I always tell the kids on the bench, like energy off the bench means a lot. Like you can always be an addition. Like always add to where you're at. That's like with anything you do. So if you're not playing, like be on the bench, clapping it up, cheering the team on during defense, or getting water for people when they're coming off. Like you have to be an asset in whatever you do. You know what I mean? So
Got you. So let's get to another reason why you want to be on the show. This upcoming Sunday, we have the second annual Coaches Clinic. Tell everyone about this upcoming event.
okay, so yeah, this is my second one. I had one last year. This time it was pretty good last year. I had Preston Thomas, myself. I had Coach Ingram from Missouri Baptist. I had Coach Chris Force from Missouri Baptist last year. But this year, Sam Pearson won't be on it. I'll be replacing him. We have Jay Blossom. If I'm not mistaken, he's a Hall of Fame coach. He coached at Webster Groves. He has three state championships at Webster Groves. Coach G Lee from Rittner. Kevin Lee couldn't do it. He had some health issues. So Malcolm Hill, he's a coach at Normandy. He'll be taking his place. Pat Juckham at WashU. He went to the Sweet 16 on Division III level this year. Tony Condra, and we have Coach Walker at Jefferson College. So who are all going to be presenting, and some of the topics they're going to be presenting on defensive adjustments and scouting, um, transition offense, skill training, player development, pressure defense, 2-3 zone, um, just things of that nature. So also I have like a time where you can go get some lunch. It'll be a food truck outside. It'll be from 11 to 6 p.m. on this Sunday at Live for Life Academy. And the address is 1731 South Broadway. So coaches come learn, network, um, learn some things. Hopefully, talk to some other coaches. It's just a good way to learn. Because like I haven't, I go to the NABC coaches clinics like every few years, and I meet coaches and learn. Last one I went to was in Chicago like 4 or 5 years ago, and they had like Roy Williams and Bob Huggins presenting some other coaches, and all the coaches were like very personal. You can come up to them and ask them questions. So but also, I went to Coach Slim this year. I went to one SLU Women's had back in October, and I learned stuff. I went to Chaminade, Coach Frank Bennett, who's won a state championship with Tatum, and he's actually an assistant coach on the I think it's the boys 16. What is it, 16U team? Because he was on the bench for that world. What was the world? World versus USA game that was on this past weekend. But yeah, I went to their clinic last year, so it's just like I said, I learn from everybody, man. Like I'll ask anybody questions to try to learn and pick up things. So I just feel like you want to get better, come out and come learn some stuff. So yeah.
So, breaking news. I say it's going to be a very busy weekend for the Platform Sports Talk Show brand. So, glad to announce that the Platform Sports Talk Show will be there as well. Yours truly, along with Sadal. We will be getting a lot of interviews, getting a lot of footage as well. Hopefully, we want to make sure that we get in line. Everyone that you see on the screen, like you said, Sam Pearson and G Lee won't be there, right?
No. Sam Pearson won't be there. G Lee will be there. Sam
Okay.
Pearson, Kevin Lee won't be there.
Okay. Yeah, because we
Yeah.
actually had G Lee and Tony Condra and Sam Pearson on as special guests over the years.
Oh, that's cool. That's what's up. They're good
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
Good people, man.
I know you brought up Terrell Ramey. I know you brought up Head from Hazelwood Central.
Mm-hmm.
They've all been part of the show as well. So it's
Cool.
been amazing to have a lot of people that who you mentioned have already been on the show.
That's what's up.
So I look forward to connecting and getting some great interviews from audience and players. So you definitely look forward to being there Sunday, getting the interviews, eating good like everyone else, the food trucks and everything.
Yeah.
Hope have some amazing weather, but once again, just want to give that exposure. You stated an importance about this event. Can you let everyone know that the importance of having this coaches clinic that you're doing?
Just so we can learn as coaches. I feel like not all, but some coaches. I don't know. Like I feel like some people may be in it for the wrong reason. Like I'm here for the kids. I want the kids to get developed and learn, and maybe go to the next level and maybe play NAIA, D3, D2, D1. But I'm here for the kids. I want them to get better, and I feel like if we all share and get better as as coaches, then it'll be a better basketball community. Like I want to lead a game better than it was when I came into it. So I think that we all should try to, if you're in it for the right reasons, to do those kind of things. So, just become better coaches. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. So before we let you go, did you have any special shout outs?
not really. I want to thank you guys, you and Joe, for having me on today. I appreciate it a lot. So I want to thank Tony Condra because I think he's the one that told you about me and being on here. So I want to shout out to Tony Condra. Thank him a lot. So yeah.
That's what's up. Joe, any last words for our special guest?
No, just it's nice meeting you virtually. I learned something new again today, so I appreciate that, and I look forward to Smooth's interviews because I know he'll be posting all these dope videos on all the socials.
All right, I appreciate you guys. Thanks again, Smooth. Appreciate you, man.
Hey, it's been a pleasure. Look forward to seeing you in person on Sunday.
Okay, thanks, man. Appreciate you. Okay.
All right, yeah, brother.
All right, you too, man. All right.
All right, that was our special guest, Dominic Martin. And like you always say, Joe, which I love is you always learn something new, different stories from different people. So that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I had a good time. One of the teams you first watched, the Rockets, and all my H-Town people on the Twitter sphere would have liked that. But Miss Dubs freaked me out there. I put it in the chat. She didn't say hi for a bit, or you didn't show it right away. She freaked me out a little bit. So hi, Miss Dubs. We didn't get to say that. I hope your Wednesday is beautiful.
Yep, most definitely. Once again, our favorite fan out there, Miss Dubs. So I said earlier that got a few things to discuss. So we got to do our part 2 now of you now have my attention. So I want to go back up to this because this was an amazing night on Tuesday night. On Monday night we had the WNBA draft, and just shouts out to the ladies. And Dominic brought up earlier how the attention of women's basketball is just taking over, and it's been so amazing. We talked about last week how the ratings outdrew the women's national championship game, outdrew the men's national championship game, and then to find out that the WNBA draft drew a record 2.45 million viewers. That is freaking incredible. They were right behind the NFL draft, that was number one, and the NBA draft, which was number two. The WNBA draft was number three, before baseball, before hockey, and any other sport. So salute to the ladies for making this happen. And as you see, the number one pick was Caitlin Clark for the Indiana Fever. Give you a look at the top 10 of the WNBA draft. As you see on the screen, once again, number one, Caitlin Clark. The Los Angeles Sparks, they got Cameron Brink and Rikia Jackson. Good Lord. That team is going to be amazing down the line. But they ain't the only ones. The Chicago Sky got Camilla Cardoso from South Carolina, my mom's favorite college basketball team. They got her. Now, I know you see LA on there, but number 7, Chicago Sky also got Angel Reese.
I was going to ask about that. I was like, this is LA right there, but okay.
Yeah, I think it was via trade. So originally it was LA's pick, but because of the trade with Chicago, the pick went to Chicago. But yes, Angel Reese and Camilla Cardoso will be teammates now after being rivals at LSU and South Carolina. So Chicago Sky, Chicago is going to be pretty amazing these next few years in the WNBA. A lot of tickets are being sold, jerseys being sold. Speaking of jerseys, Joe, Fanatics is making the jerseys for the WNBA.
Oh, Lord.
And they already said that due to high demand, the Caitlin Clark jerseys may not be available till sometime in August.
When does their season start?
In about 3 weeks.
Hold on. Obviously, that's mind blowing. Is that May and August? But so this is just a legit question about the WNBA in general. Is like, are these women going to be playing come this?
Yes.
So they have like a month to learn their new teams.
Yes. So like here, for instance, Caitlin Clark is still in college right now. She graduates very soon. So
probably May.
right. So it's the whole transition from 1 week you're playing in the national championship game to the next week you're getting drafted to you still have to finish out school, and then you're also in training camp playing for the WNBA, which starts in May, and the season goes on until I believe July or early August, something like that. So yeah,
that's wild. Sheesh, yeah, that's crazy. And I saw a cool video of the Fever, the players, the current players on the team right now, repping the Caitlin Clark jerseys when she got drafted. I thought that was really cool. You got those girls who are in the league right now, being positive and happy for her, and then you got the oldies being negative. So I like that a lot.
Now I don't have the picks on here, but the 2-time defending champions, Las Vegas Aces, also got some ballers too. So they're going to be another threat going into this year. So definitely stay tuned for what should be probably the most anticipated upcoming WNBA season that we've had in years. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. But Joe, you remember last week how we talked about the Caitlin Clark influence in the game, just saying respect greatness. And then how we were saying, how she got the offer from Ice Cube to, get the $5 million deal to be on the Big Three. This is the exact reason why. This is her contract. So for the next 4 years, this is just the WNBA contract. She'll be making $338,056 dollars. That's crazy. That's crazy. So nowhere do you see over $100,000 per year. And this is exactly why Ice Cube was like, you know what? Hey, coming to the big three, pay you $5 million. You're playing 10 games. It's 3-on-3. It's not full court. Hey, come on through. And I really think that she should definitely consider. Now, granted, I did look at posts from the ex Jamel Hill. We know her from ESPN, amazing journalist. She was saying how Caitlin Clark does have NIL deals that will still go on even while she's in the WNBA. So even with her leaving college, she will still get deals. So she gonna get sponsorships and endorsements from outside of the WNBA. So she'll still get her money. But just seeing this, Joe, what goes through your mind when you see this contract? Because and that's as the number one pick. So just imagine, seeing, everyone else behind her possibly getting lower.
Yeah, and you got to think everyone talks about it with other sports, and again, I can only talk about from baseball that I know the most is there's so much that's taken out of that. Like she's not gonna see all that. It's gonna be going to all different types of things. So, I mean, it's crazy. Again, you understand the whole Ice Cube thing now. Like why not? And I don't understand the NIL thing though. So like, even though that's over with, how long does she only get that for? One more year, or like how does that work? Because I still to this day, you talk about it all the time. I don't understand that stuff.
Yeah, I have to go back to the actual tweet, but Jamel Hill was explaining to someone on the X about how she has a deal, which is pretty much almost want to say lifetime like deal, NIL type deal. So she gonna still be getting her money through NIL endorsements. That's what I saw on the tweet or the post.
Yeah, that's crazy, and it is funny. Is like we were talking about this last week, and then me and Baby Bobo went to Target on Friday, and like I seen like 3 or 4 different magazines with Caitlin Clark on it. So I thought that was pretty cool. She's obviously going to get her money everywhere else. It is just kind of shitty that these some of the guys that get drafted out of high school for Major League Baseball are making at least $1 million, with a signing bonus. And then, she's worldwide famous, honestly, and that's what she's getting, which I would love to have that money, but I'm not as, as athletic and whatnot as her.
So I'm actually pulling up the tweet right now. Okay, here we go. So let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it up on the screen so you can see the whole conversation. Cause this is what we do here. It's my show. I can do what I want to do. Now, let's see. Share the screen, and here we go. Okay, so Jamel Hill talking right here about NBA players' salaries. And let me see if I can find the exact post because someone was commenting about, here we go. NIL. Let's see. Oh, I thought I had the exact response from her. I don't see it right now. But yeah, she was, like I said, she pretty much was saying how she's getting a deal through NIL where she's still going to be making money even when she's done with school. But I'm not sure exactly how long she will be under that contract or having that deal. But yeah, let me see if this is showing up here. No, it's not. But no, it's all good. But yeah, it's just crazy how the contracts are. You got people who are, I don't know, let's say in human resource that's making more money than WNBA players per year. And that's pretty crazy.
I'm listening. Hold on.
No, it's all good. It's all good. But no, like I said, it's just pretty crazy how things are right now. And that's why you see women going overseas and playing basketball for 3 or 4 or 5 months until the WNBA season is back around the corner. So this goes back to what Ms. Dub said and what we were saying last week. We hope that, and that's why it's so important, as you brought up, Joe, earlier, that women should be embracing what Caitlin Clark, what Andrew Reese, and whoever else is coming to the league. They should embrace this as this could be a possible opportunity for the women to make even more money, for the league more money, because that's what's going to draw is that attention, is that certain style of player, and it's going to be a great story overall.
Yep.
So, best of luck once again to the ladies of the WNBA, and hope that they have a great upcoming season. So, let's get right into some baseball talk. Had a little bit of it. You talked about the Indians earlier. Let's talk about our Cardinals. They lost today. It's one of them games to me, Joe, that they won the series, but it's like you keep doing these little small things that just hurts the team. Like when Wilson Contreras didn't run home after that ball was hit when he was at third base. He could have easily scored, and he just kind of like had a lapse. Like, I got stuck, and he stayed at third base. And, of course, once again, not hitting with men in scoring position. Like, the Cardinals have now scored more than 3 runs in the last, 3-4 games now. Offense still just has not got it, which leads me to ask now. I know it's been a couple weeks. We're still early, still first month of the season. But does this Cardinal team, do you feel, have an identity?
Yeah, and it's crazy that we talked about Whitey a couple times today, but I mean, I think early on in the year, it is good defense, and they don't give up. I will say that they do have a grit and a fire to them. That's like, okay, we're going to keep pushing until the other team gets 27 outs against us. Honestly, like besides the very big, the very big blowout type games, the Cardinals are in these games until the very end of it. So, I mean, I think right now that's an identity, and that's something good to have, because last year we did not see that at all. We did not see defense in general at all. And the pitching, So, I mean, obviously we're a game under 500, but there's some positives that we can take out already.
And last week we talked about him. That was Nolan Arenado. He did hit 1 home run, but he is showing signs of he's starting to hit the ball hard. No matter if it's left field or opposite field, he's starting to see it. Now we're just waiting for him to be more productive with, hitting more home runs. And of course, my biggest thing is let me see you do that with men in scoring position. That's my biggest thing. But he's slowly coming around. But as we say that, last week I was like, well, one person who I'm not really that much concerned about as much was Paul Goldschmidt. And ever since the show last week, he's kind of been like, came from here to, he's not looking quite right.
It's funny. It's because last week we talked all bad about Nato. Not bad, but hey, he probably needs to go down in the order a little bit, this and that. And then I know you posted the video of us talking about that as a clip, and I was like, oh, ever since then, he's kind of been, his swings, even his foul balls, his swings look so much better. It's mind-blowing. Like, what happened to where he stopped the whole chop in half swing thing to now he's following through to the 2022 Nato and the, Colorado Nato. And then we say all that, and that you're not worried about Goldie, and now Goldie's kind of like, so maybe this weekend Goldie goes off against the Brewers, What would talk kind of bad about him, maybe they'll help him out.
And something that I don't want to say, but I have to say it, it's just a matter of when Victor Scott goes down to the minors, because he just he's amazing defensively. He made up for his mistakes on the defensive side, but offensively, you can throw a beach ball and he's not going to hit it right now. That's how bad he looks. And now I will commend the Cardinals. And I think Ali really pushed for this because he really wanted Victor Scott on this team because he wanted to, he was putting defense over everything else because he assumed that Jordan Walker, Gorman, Arenado, Goldie, and others would step up and do their part, so Victor can kind of slowly get to a nice little feel of the game. But right now, it just looks bad, and
It looks worse only because the team as a whole is not, they're not all hitting like we all know they can hit. Like obviously Nato started to slowly get it going. Mason Wynn's been great. We've talked about that. Contreras has been phenomenal. He's got a little hit streak going on right now. And then Ivan Herrera. Like those are like the main guys you can talk about that are consistently game by game putting up good at bats, and they've looked okay. Whenever half the team is not looking good, then you're like, okay, we can't have a center fielder batting 9-hole. Obviously a 9-hole hitter isn't going to win the World Series for you. But when the rest of the team's not, doing what they're supposed to do, then it just makes it look 10 times worse. So yeah, he just looks overmatched at the plate, honestly. Ciani could do the same thing that he's doing, and Ciani, he plays decent defense as well. So he's probably going to get, eventually get sent down. But right now, I guess you can just go Dugar, Ciani, and Walker. If you trust Ciani to be the center fielder until Edmund or Carlson gets back. But I think Carlson just now started swinging the bat, so he might be up here for a little bit longer. And who knows? Maybe he runs into a couple and helps himself stay here in the big leagues.
Yeah, because I just be looking at these at bats like, man, if he could just get one nice rope somewhere, he'll be good. But the problem is he just can't get it.
He went a spurt there of like putting good contact on balls and taking decent at bats, but then within the last week or so, you're like, okay, now he's just swinging at the those pitches in. He like I said, he just looks overmatched, and like I said, maybe hopefully that changes. Everyone has an off day tomorrow. He hasn't started 2 days in a row. I don't know if that's maybe something's lingering with him. Maybe Ali wants him to just, hey, take a break, let's just get until Friday, and then we'll have you starting at home again, just to get his mind off things. But maybe with the travel back home from the West Coast and then off day tomorrow, just resets everything, and hopefully, because I want him to stay up here, like he's an electric, exciting player when he's right. So hopefully tomorrow he resets, and the whole team freaking resets, honestly, and have a good home opener series at home against the Brewers.
So on a brighter spot, maybe for the first time in a couple of years, Joe, we may have finally have an ace on the team, and that's Sonny Gray. This man here has been pitching 3 games now. No, is it 2 games or 3 he's pitched now? Okay, 2. Both under a pitch limit, but he's been efficient with his stuff. I was told or heard that he has 6 different pitches that he can all throw anywhere he wants to. He's not trying to throw 98 miles per hour. He's like, hey, if y'all can hit it, hit it. But he's being effective. He has not walked anyone, and he has not allowed an earned run at this time. From what you're seeing, and this is not even 100% Sonny Gray, what are your thoughts? Do you feel that we finally have an ace that we've been looking for for the longest time?
Yeah, I mean, for the Cardinals at least, yeah, this is an ace. And it's not like he's just shutting down average teams. You gotta think the first team he shut down for 5 innings was the Phillies, and they got some boppers on their team. So I mean, he's looked absolutely filthy. Like you said, he's been limited to a certain amount of pitches early on. I would assume that his third start, he should be a go. I mean, I think last night he had 65, 70 pitches. Like, I think that's where he was supposed to be at. And I mean, he's looked great. I mean, everyone knew going in, like, Sonny Gray he's going to be a good 1-2. And I think, and I don't say this often because I don't agree with BK a lot on 101, but I think what he said a couple of weeks ago was like, no one was upset about getting Sonny Gray. It shouldn't be that Miles Michaelis is your number 2. If Miles was your number 3 and you had someone else as your number 2 that's an ace type like kind of guy, then you feel really freaking good. But I mean, Miles looked good on Sunday too. He got into a little bit of trouble there in like the 6th inning against the D-backs, but he had a really bad opening day, and ever since then he's made little steps moving forward. So I mean, I said it. I think our preview show for baseball is, you got all these teams that are going to be competing with the Cardinals for getting pitching at the deadline. But hopefully we're just in a better spot than those other teams, and we can get someone to pair with Sonny Gray, for a playoff rotation, because he's looked great, and he's honestly looked great his entire career with the exception of New York, and he's came out and said they prevented him from throwing pitches he wanted to throw. So, I mean, you take that year with a grain of salt.
And you brought up the Central. I want to show this because look at the NL Central. And I said this before the season started, that I don't see the Central being a doormat this year. Now, I know, once again, we know it's early, but this NL Central is looking quite competitive at this time. Do you see this being something that can stay throughout the whole year, or will teams start being exposed, around that June, July period?
I mean, I honestly think it could be, because every team in the Central has gone through pretty significant injuries already early on. I mean, the Cubs lost Steele and Suzuki. The Brewers just put Yelich on the IL. They don't have Devin Williams. They lost Corbin Burns, and they're still doing their thing. And I honestly don't think any of these teams have played each other yet.
Right.
That's so like we're playing an NL Central team for the first time this weekend. So it's not like we have just been beating up on each other, and that's why we have the records that we have. The Cardinals have had a crazy, we've talked about it. They've played so many West Coast games already, and it's not even May yet. So once they settle down and be just in the same time zone for a little bit, maybe they'll start picking it up too. But I mean, it might be like the AL Central. We thought it was going to be boring and these teams suck, but maybe it'll be a pretty intriguing, NL Central this year, which hopefully that's what it is, because you always have not just the Cardinals, let's say, and it's every team in the Central, we're in the NL Central. Hopefully we just, do our thing and win the division and make it in. So, but it's 3 weeks in, it looks like it could be a decent divisional race.
So going back to the Cardinals now, just sticking with them, another story just popped up today, per the Riverfront Times, that Cardinals ownership is looking eventually in the next 2 to 5 years to seek public money for Busch Stadium renovations and upgrades. And they're looking to try to model what the Baltimore Orioles and the Milwaukee Brewers did over the last couple of years, in which they have had to use about $300 to $500 million of public funds to renovate the stadiums. Kind of like similar to how, not saying it's to this degree right now or bad. Remember how we had the Rams and they wanted to update and renovate the dome to get it to upgraded status to compare it to other stadiums that was being built. Busch Stadium is not like that right now, but they see down the line, the next 5 years or so, that a certain amount of upgrades behind the scenes and maybe big in front of us, kind of thing is going to be needed. And they're asking for the public money to get this funded. And when I saw this, Joe, I was like, huh? Because this is the absolute worst time to want to ask the public who does not trust you to put in funds to help renovate Busch Stadium. This is the absolute worst time because the people don't believe that you're even trying to help the current ball team of the ball club to get better. Why should fans even worry about trying to put in funds to accommodate renovations for Busch Stadium? Like, this reminded me, Joe, of last year when, of course, we had the terrible start, and I think it was like late May or June, and we were already like not last place, but it was just bad. And then we had this dun 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 breaking news. This reveal is going to happen. Stay tuned. So we're like, well, what the hell is going on? I wonder what's happening. And you know what it was, Joe?
Was it the stifle patch?
Thank you. Thank you. And we was like, what?
Well, it's like even this team is so bad at that. Like, before the season started, they did the press conference for, I don't remember what artist is coming to Busch Stadium, but like, why did you have to do a press conference for that?
Who cares? I'm sorry, but who cares?
Like, obviously, it's like one of the, probably top 20 all-time artists, whatever. But like, we don't need a press conference for that. I didn't see anything about this until like after the A's game, because I can't remember who said it, but it's like on a day that the Cardinals were asking for public funds, they would lose to the, to the Oakland A's. Like, it just adds, I don't know, man. It's if they it's a billionaire.
Right, that part too.
It's a quadruple billionaire old dude asking for money for a stadium that's not even 20 years old yet.
And guess who funded the stadium?
What, Anheuser-Busch?
He did.
Oh, he did. Okay, I was like, I don't even know, but
he probably funded Busch Stadium and Ballpark Village.
And they've added on to Ballpark Village so many times. Whoever does it are just idiots, honestly. It's like, and you got to think. So you said the Baltimore Orioles are a team that did this. Where were they before last year?
They were at the bottom.
The Brewers, I know they've been decent here the last 5 years or so, but before that, they weren't good either. So we're comparing ourselves to these two teams that, in recent memory, that we can sit there and point to a time in our lives that they were like, hey, these guys were not good, and they asked for public handouts. So now we're those teams. I don't know. It's embarrassing, I guess is a good word. It's like, why? I just don't understand these billionaires. They just blow my mind. And I'm curious to see what the stands look like this weekend against the Brewers. Central Division rivalry. You're in last place, but you're only in last place by a couple games. It's early enough to say it like that. But I'm excited to see what it's going to be like.
I am glad that you brought this up. So let's have some fun again, because this is what we do on the Platform Sports Talk Show. So everyone can see. And sorry, Cardinals, if y'all watching right now, but I got to go ahead and show this, because as I brought up last week, I spent about $400-$500 on opening day tickets for 3 people, right?
$500.
This is SeatGeek. This is a third party. And let's check out tickets for this Friday. Now, do you see this right here, Joe?
From the mouse. Buckaroos.
That's the lowest price that you can get at the game. against the Brewers. Let's go into the actual. Let's see. The screen ain't loading up. Maybe it's going a little bit slow. So
Cardinals are watching and they're slowing down your internet.
they're already blocking it. So let me go back onto it now and see if it works. But yeah, like that's how bad it is. Okay, here we go. So you have all these great seats. Look at here: $31, $42, $49. These are all great seats. 37, 34, 16. That shows how less people care about these games right now. Bleacher seats. We sat right here in this section opening day. Like right here. $29, $8 to go to a game. If this city cared right now, those prices would be double that amount in each section.
Or it would even be there because people wouldn't be selling their tickets.
Exactly. That is how bad things are looking right now. So yes, like you said, Joe, I look forward to seeing this crowd at the games this weekend to see if they come out. Miss Dub says asking for public money for stadium upgrades when you're at the bottom of the division doesn't make sense. Right. Like I said, give the people a reason to want to invest in you. The last 2 or 3 seasons, you have not. Now, granted, we did go to the playoffs. We won the National League Central a couple years ago during Marvel's first year, and it was Pujols' last year and Yachty. So that's different. You know what I'm saying?
That's the reason why it was what it was. Yeah, Albert was on the chase for $700. Yachty was leaving, and him and Wayno had the battery, record to beat as well. So, like, those were the main reasons why what happened.
Yeah.
And I think it was the first year that we played everybody. I'm pretty positive.
No, that was last year. That was last year.
Okay, that was last year.
Yeah. So, yeah, like I said, don't come out here talking about something. We need y'all to help us to pay $500 million when people can't even take y'all serious right now in regards to the actual product you have on the field. Don't do that.
Or half the community can't even get a streaming service to watch you at home.
And also, let me say this too, because there was another article in the Riverfront Times talking about how downtown St. Louis, business-wise, is not a boom at all. And if you just drive downtown, you see so many vacant buildings, like the Millennium Hotel, which is right behind Busch Stadium. That's been vacant for God knows how long. My wife always, shouts out to you, wifey, love you. She always says, why are there so many vacant buildings that's not being renovated, broken down, something? Of course, crime is a major issue as well. People are scared to go downtown and park their car anywhere without feeling like they come back and it's gone or vandalized. In the next 10 to 20 years, Joe, I can definitely see a possibility that their next stadium is going to be out there in the freaking county.
Whose next stadium?
The Cardinals.
If they need another stadium that's not even 50 years old, then that's a problem.
I mean, but not saying that we can compare this to them, but look what the Braves did. They had 3 different stadiums in 20 years.
Was Turner Field not that old? I don't remember.
Turner Field was probably about 20 years old, if that.
Okay, because I remember it's so funny. It's like when it was that game we had Hazel, Baker, Diaz, and someone else. You know what I'm talking about?
Sometimes.
What a lineup. Hazel Baker and Aledmus Diaz and some other rookie hit a homer in the same game. Yeah. And that was the last time the Cardinals played at Turner Field. But I mean, I feel like that stadium it looked old, at least I'll say. But I don't know. I don't think they'll ever move the actual stadium outside of the city. But I will say this this past summer, I went to both Metallica concerts, and yeah, because I don't drive through the city or past the city anymore ever since, COVID happened and we weren't driving to work all the time. But yeah, I noticed that there's a lot more vacancy going around. I will say it's like when we were going to the office is that Vest building right there next to the Dome.
Mm-hmm.
What is, just knock it down. I don't know. If you just knock this stuff down, it might be less crime regardless.
Yeah. So that's our thoughts with the Cardinals. There's so much going on right now with that team, around the team, downtown, the whole nine. So we'll see. Sticking with downtown, the Blues tonight play their last game of the season. They facing the Dallas Stars. They will not be making the playoffs again for the second consecutive year. And that's why I left this up here. Will the Blues sing a different note next season? The reason why I brought this up,
I apologize. I didn't notice that.
really. See, backstory is that I give everyone, in the chat, at least about 3 days in advance of the topic so they can get ready. And like Joe was like, what's the subject going to be about with the Blues? I'm just so I can be prepared. I'm like, Joe, it's right there in the.
To be fair, I was working while I was doing it, but yeah, I didn't notice that, nor did I hear or see anything about it on socials and whatnot. So yeah.
So during the game this past weekend, Alex Ferrario from 101 ESPN was asking questions to the Blues president, Tom Stillman. And he told him that the team will focus more on internal options and developing their young players, which means it's a broad way of just pretty much saying, don't expect for us to hit the free agent market and try to cash in on getting a big time player. Now, I do respect that. Unlike another organization that's on Clark Street that be saying whatever and then don't do nothing.
City SC?
No, the other team going the other way, going east. But yeah, and I respect that because I felt like the organization was kind of heading towards that path this past year, but then he ended up getting a few veteran players, and it's not like it really worked out, to the way that they were hoping it would. And it looks like they want to really focus on the younger stars and give them more opportunity on the ice to develop and improve and establish that core. That's what I'm getting, which also leads to this, Joe. You're the GM. You're Doug Armstrong. Do you want to bring back Drew Bannister, or do you want to see about maybe a Joe Quenneville? If you don't know about his story, we know a great coach, former coach of the Blues, won a championship with the Blackhawks, but he's been part of this big issue of culture where while they were winning, there was an issue with a certain player where he was being treated very unfairly during his time with the Blackhawks, and that forced Quenneville to be gone from the league for the last 2 years or something, like 2 seasons, something like that. But he may be getting reinstated back into the league. So do you see the Blues either stand with Drew Bannister, getting maybe a coach like Joe Quenneville, or maybe getting someone younger like this coach from the University of Denver? They say he's a very great coach, but he never had any experience in the NHL.
I think the Quenneville thing's out of the picture. Nothing against him, but I think St. Louis and St. Louis sports needs to get over the whole I can't think of the word I'm trying to think of, but like nostalgic type thing. Like, I'm sure I would love Mike Schilt to be our manager, but right now that's not going to happen. It's never going to happen again. I don't think Quenneville's ever going to be a Blues coach again. But as I say that about St. Louis and their sports teams, is I could see them 100% signing Bannister on for a 2-3 year contract extension, just because I don't even know if it's considered an extension because he's just an interim, but I just see that because there was some good things that we were seeing from the Blues after he got brought on. So I don't know. Familiarity is probably what they're going to go with. He was in the minors for the Blues. If they're going to be staying pretty much the same, why not just keep him on? And I think that's probably the route they're going to go. And besides a college type of coach, I don't know who else is out there that would be good to bring in. And I don't think the Blues are going to be competing next year. It'll probably be a lot of like what this year was. You know, at the beginning of the year, I said if they make it in, it's going to be that last wild card spot. And I think that's, as of right now, looking into next year, that's probably what it's going to be as well.
Interesting. So we say that the Blues are done for the year, but it doesn't mean hockey isn't. And we have the NHL playoffs that's going to be starting up this weekend. Once again, tonight is the very last game of the season. And yeah, go ahead, Joe.
Did you see anything about the Detroit Red Wings situation last night whatsoever?
No, what happened?
Okay, so they're playing the Canadians. Canadians are not in the playoffs, but they had to get a point. But then the Capitals and the Flyers were playing each other. So the Red Wings needed at least a single point, and for the Capitals to lose, the Flyers needed to win in regulation time to make it in. The Red Wings, DP 57 with 3.3 seconds left, scored to tie the game. So they were going into overtime with that point that they needed. But literally like a minute after that, the Flyers, with I think it was like 4 or 5 minutes left in their game, pulled their goalie in a tied game against the Capitals. And TJ Oshie scored, and then the Flyers lose. So the Red Wings don't make the playoffs. I know Randy Carricker would kill me right now if he heard me say this, because the punch a Red Wings in the face, punch a Red Wing fan face. I can't talk right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I'm so excited right now. Like, I wanted the Red Wings to win that game because, one, they're a fun, exciting team. They got so many former Blues players on their team. But could you imagine not making the playoffs in that fashion? Like, you did what you're supposed to do, and the team that you needed to lose was tied with like 6 minutes left to go in the game, and the Flyers pull their goalie in a tied game, and then TJ Oshie. And I think it's just funny that two former Blues greats, score their goals or whatever. But so Red Wings don't make the playoffs yet again, but they if they make like one or two moves in the off season, they got a young, exciting team. So I don't want the Red Wings to win the Stanley Cup over the Blues, but that would have been exciting to watch.
That's crazy. So now let's get to the NHL playoffs. Now I'm not sure if everything is officially set based off tonight, but this is how it's looking going into tonight. We have on the Western Conference Vancouver with the number one spot. Not number one spot, but one of the top spots against Nashville Predators. We have the Oilers versus the Vegas Golden Knights, the defending champions. Dallas Stars versus the LA Kings. Winnipeg Jets versus the Colorado Avalanche. On the East, well, actually, first, who do you have representing the East, Joe, going to the Stanley Cup?
You mean the West, since you just did them?
I'm sorry, the West.
I'm going to go with the Oilers.
Really? Is it time?
Is that what I 100% think will happen? Probably not. But it's funny because I'm picking what my preseason prediction was. But Oilers, I have them going. I will say the Golden Knights, they're good. We all know that. But it's not right that hockey can do this whole put someone on long-term injury reserves with Mark Stone, and then right before the playoffs start, it's a miracle. He's miraculously he's healthy now. The Lightning has done this multiple times with Kucherov as well. There's no reason this should be something that you could just, I'm gonna rest my best player on the team, and then when playoffs come around, now he's healthy. So that's something that NHL needs to fix.
And with that being said, I'm gonna say the Vegas go to Knights.
Go for it. I mean, that's in the back of my head. Probably who's going to. They're gonna. Why not be their third Stanley Cup final in 5 years? Is it? I don't know, but that's part of it, though. I mean, that's part of the reason why the Lightning went back 3 times in a row. It's because they bubble wrapped their best player and put him on the bench until it was time to start playing meaningful games.
So now on the East, we have Florida Panthers versus the Tampa Bay Lightning, Boston Bruins versus the Toronto Maple Leafs, New York Rangers versus the Washington Capitals, and Carolina Hurricanes versus the New York Islanders. Who do you have coming out of the East?
Got the Panthers going back.
Yeah, I have the same. I can't see another team. I'm looking at Boston, but then I thought about how Boston had a great year last year. They were like the best team in all of hockey, and then lost in the first round.
They got the big rig effect now, though.
Oh, I forgot about that.
So you got a rematch of last year?
Ooh, yeah.
That doesn't happen often. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah. Yep. I'm gonna go with Vegas Golden Knights getting healthy at the right time, and then the Panthers doing what they do. I'm gonna just stick with that, and we'll see if the outcome is different. Who do you have winning the whole thing?
All right, I got the Panthers winning it this time around, but I told B if the Oilers win it, I'm buying myself a McJesus jersey or a sweater. That's what they call them.
Oh God.
Connor McJesus, he's a stud. But he gets all the talk in the NHL. You gotta shouts out to Austin Matthews, man, American-born player. He's scored 69 goals right now. Hopefully he hits 70. And if he did already, I missed it. But he's 70 goals, man. And at the time, I think right now still, only one of those is an empty net goal. That's crazy. So shouts out to Austin Matthews. He should get just as much attention as Connor McDavid. But I would love to have a Connor McDavid jersey.
Got you. And I'm man, this is tough. This is tough. I think I'm gonna go ahead and go your direction too, and choose the Panthers. I feel like they've gotten a little bit better than Vegas Golden Knights did. Even though Mark Stone, like you said, is coming back, but I just feel like when you go to a championship game and you lose and you see the other team win right in front of you, it makes you just want to say, you know what, no, we're gonna come back bigger and better and stronger. And I think the Panthers are doing that. Didn't Tarasenko get traded to them?
Yeah, it's weird. He's wearing number 10. It's it's cringy, He's been in the 90s his whole career, and now he's wearing number 10. But there's so much negative stuff with Tarasenko here in the last handful of years, but gotta give it to him. I mean, in our lifetime of being alive, he's a top 5 Blues player. Statistically, that's a hard word to say.
It is.
So yeah, I mean, it'd be great for him and his family and whatnot, and obviously it'd be cool for him to do it with Matthew Tkachuk.
Right. So that is our NHL talk. Let's go ahead and get to another team that's downtown, St. Louis City SC, Joe. And guess what? They won a game. They won, and this was the goal that put them over the hump by Mr. Santa Claus.
Klaus. My God. Klaus. Love that guy.
They defeated, was that Austin FC, Austin FC?
Yeah.
Yeah, so shouts out to them. They actually won a game. I can't recall when they actually won a game. Joe, it's been so long ago. They've been like either losing or tying. But they, finally won a match. And shouts out to them. Hopefully that would be something that will spearhead them to a nice winning streak, and let's climb up these standings. And Miss Dub says, "Yay!"
I hope it it gets something going for them. Klaus has been extremely quiet this year. Obviously, the whole team has been, just because we had one win prior to this. But no, Klaus, he was obviously the best player last year. Besides Berkey, and Berkey's still probably the best goaltender in the league. So hopefully, they start piling up some wins now. And again, ties aren't awful, but when it comes to soccer and playoff format, I don't know how those, tie into it. So let's start getting some dubs.
Let's go, CDSC. Gotta find a way to go to a game, because I know that it would be amazing. And up next, the Battlehawks. They have won 2 in a row. They defeated the Brahmas in San Antonio last week. Great game. They had a great defensive stop to seal the deal. And once again, looks like they're on the road, and they're about to have this upcoming weekend. I think they play Saturday, which I know Miss Dub will be at the game. They play. Let's see where she at. There she with the comment. I was waiting for it, but yeah, the leading receiver from the XFL. I think he played with the Seattle Sea Dragons last year. He's making his debut this weekend for the Battlehawks. So their offense is about to get even more crazy with with everything. Hope I did that. Hope I did some justice with that. But he's supposed to be starting, or playing, shall I say, this upcoming weekend. So I know Miss W and oh, wait a minute. She says she would not be there. She has a meeting that she can't get out of. Oh, okay.
Hopefully you have it on your phone or something.
Right. Do I know anyone who needs a ticket? Hey, we put it out there. If you watch you right now and you need a ticket to the Battlehawks game, I believe she has some amazing seats. Y'all know who to reach out to. It's right here on the screen. Don't save it and warn you. Trying to go to a game. Great seats. You are invited to a game. There you go. All right. So once again, congrats to the Battlehawks. Let's keep it going. Let's keep those wins coming. And now to get to our last topic. And man, I was nervous last night, but they came through. And my wife is probably not watching this part anymore.
She's cringing.
Yeah, because last night we had the first of 2 games with the play-in tournament, in which, as you see on the screen, the winner of the 7th and 8th seed, which was the 7th seed was the Pelicans, 8th seed was the Lakers. If the whoever wins advances to the actual playoffs and will face the number 2 seed Denver Nuggets.
I have a question.
Go ahead, yeah.
Because I was looking at this exact bracket earlier. Is this part of the earlier tournament things they had? Like, is this something new that they do?
This is their 3rd year doing this now.
Okay, because obviously we all know I don't know the most about basketball, but I saw this. I was like, wait, so there's play-in tournaments to get into the tournament? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Miss Dub says she hasn't been watching. Last night was 2 great games. 2 great games. Lakers had a big lead, and then the Pelicans came back and were literally down by maybe 2 or 3 points. And then Zion Williamson got hurt, and that kind of pretty much changed the whole momentum of the game. In which now Zion is out for possibly the next couple of weeks due to a hamstring issue, which sucks because he was balling last night. He had 40 points before injuring himself. But going back, the winner of the 7th and 8th seed game goes on to face the Denver Nuggets. And as you see, the Lakers did win. So now they will face off against the Denver Nuggets, a team that they have not won against in the last 8 games. So I'm nervous about that, but I'm glad that they went on to take care of business. On the other end, the loser, as you see, the Pelicans now go up and have to face the winner of the Kings and Golden State game, which was second last night. and it didn't go quite right for my wife's team. And I actually gave her grace, or maybe she actually forced myself to, because she left the living room, Joe, and I haven't seen her walk so fast in my life. She went upstairs to the bed. She went up the steps, and she was going to sleep before I could say, well, look who lost the game, because she already knew what was happening. So we can't play no funny reels, jokes this year, because only one team has made it to the playoffs, and that's the Lakers, as Golden State is done for the year. So on Thursday or Friday, or Saturday, one of the days, the Kings and the Pelicans will play, and the winner will be facing the number 1 seed Oklahoma City Thunder. Tonight, as of right now, the 76ers did defeat the Miami Heat. So the 76ers will go on to face the New York Knicks, while the Heat will play the winner of the game going on right now between the Bulls and the Atlanta Hawks.
There's a score to that right now.
It's a commercial break, but let me go and see real quick what the score is, because this is what we do on the Platform Sports Talk Show. So right now, the Bulls are winning 40-28.
All right. That's Stanton's team, right?
Yes, it is. So I know he's excited. So as you see, if the Bulls win, they will have to face the Miami Heat. And then the winner of that game will face the number 1 seed Boston Celtics. So with that being said, Jobo, I know that you're not big on basketball, so I'll go ahead and go first, and who I have coming out of the Eastern Conference. And I think I said it before, but I'm gonna stay stern with it. I feel this is the year Boston goes back to the NBA Finals. So I have Boston coming out the East. Who do you have?
Same. Got my boy Tatum in the Celtics.
So this is so tough. And as much as I love my Lakers, I just don't feel they have enough to beat the Nuggets. I want to be so wrong. I really do. But Denver is just too strong. I have the Nuggets going back to the NBA Finals.
I put the Clippers. I don't know a lot about the Clippers, but I do see positive stuff about them on social media. Obviously, they're a 4th seed, so they must be all right, and they're in the big tournament. So I got the Clippers versus the Celtics. And
So
question, real quick, is will Jamie be like, haha, in your face if the Lakers lose, or her team didn't make it in, so she's gonna be quiet?
Oh no, because she was like that last year when the Lakers beat Golden State in the playoffs, and we had to face the Nuggets to go to the finals. Oh, she was the biggest Nuggets fan in the world. Yeah, so there is no let's go Lakers. No, it's always whoever is facing the Lakers, that's their team. So I still get the bad end, but I love it.
That's how my brother is about any team that faces the Astros in the playoffs. Yankees, Mariners, whatever. He's come on that team.
So Mr. Dubs says Clippers can beat OKC. So I'm glad you asked that question. With the Clippers, their biggest issue is health. Paul George and Kawhi Leonard have to remain healthy. If either one of those players are hurt, they're done. James Harden, we all know how incredible of a player he is during the regular season. But when it gets down to the playoffs, he tends to not show up. And he's not as dominant. Kawhi Leonard and Paul George both have to be healthy. If so, the Clippers have a great chance to make some noise. I am liking, on the flip side, how the Dallas Mavericks have been playing. Luka and Kyrie have been doing some things in Dallas. So that series should be pretty amazing. But if Paul George and Kawhi Leonard stay healthy, they are going to go pretty far, I believe. OKC, very talented team, very young, talented team, and I'm just not confident that they can handle the pressure of being a number one seed and going all the way to the Western Conference Finals. Great young nucleus. They should be very strong for the next couple of years, but I'm just not confident. I have to see more in this playoff for me to say, okay, I'm on their bandwagon. And Miss Dub says that's how she is about anyone who plays her Cowboys. I mean, who plays the Cowboys. She always roots for the team who plays against the Cowboys. So that's what it is right there. Lastly, in basketball, it was announced. Oh, I'm sorry. I want to bring this up because Joe, you brought this up during the pre-show. The dumbest NBA player in the league. And well, actually, he's not even in the league anymore because as of today, the NBA officially banned former Mizzou basketball player Jonte Porter, someone who I wish at the time would have stayed another year in Mizzou, but he got injured during his second season, where I thought this was going to be the year Mizzou was going to go far. He went to the league, and this is what's crazy is that his NBA contract compared to Caitlin Clark and others, right, Joe? But his NBA contract, he has made $2,397,933, and he now is booted out from the league. He's gone for life, banned from the NBA because he was making $21,965 in betting. And what is worse, Joe, was that he was betting against his own team.
I was wondering, like, if it wasn't against his team, I wonder if he would have gotten a lifetime ban or not.
Well, see, the issue is that he was betting in your own league. You cannot bet in your own league. It's different if he's betting NFL or Major League, whatever. But you cannot bet in your own league. And then definitely can't bet on your own team, in which he did. He is bet for them to lose because he knew the team wasn't looking good, and he would use his injury status as reasons to place certain bets.
Maybe he should have stayed another year at Mizzou to try to learn something and grow up a little bit more, because that's just idiotic. Like,
stupid.
I just don't get it. Yeah, there's so many people out there that need money, and like you're over here making over $2 million on playing a game, and then you're just like, oh, I need more, and so I'm gonna bet, to get 21,000. Like 21,000 is a crap load of money, but come on, like you're already a millionaire. What are you doing?
And I think about this. It's like, how do you come home to a family of Porters who, your brother plays in the league, your father used to coach at Mizzou, he's probably coaching somewhere now in college, your whole family is big in sports, and you got to go back home and face the wrath of them because of you doing this.
Yeah, you embarrassed them all. Now they constantly got to answer questions on something that they didn't even do. Like, I don't know. It's just a crappy situation for the family, at least. I guess.
It's definitely an embarrassment. And last but not least, it was announced that the Team USA roster is officially together, and this may be the best roster we've had in quite some time. From Kawhi Leonard, from LeBron James, Jason Tatum, Durant, Joel Embiid, Davis, Steph Curry, his first time playing on the national team, Devin Booker, Bam Adebayo, Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Halliburton, Drew Holiday, and like I said earlier, Kawhi Leonard. This team here, they are on a mission because they're tired of being embarrassed how they were before doing the trials last summer where they lost in the, I think, semifinal round. They didn't make it to the finals. LeBron James and them saw that. It was like, man, we have to come together and prove to the world that we still have the best players in all of basketball. And I don't think there's a better squad better roster of players that they could have chosen for what I'm seeing right here.
I know 9 out of the 12 of them, so that means pretty stacked if I know that many guys.
And Miss Dubs is like, whoa. So yeah. So like I said, you couldn't have asked for a better roster. They need, so Ms. Dub said they need to practice as a team. Individual talent is nothing if you can't work as a team. In which that's the reason why you're gonna have LeBron, you're gonna have Steph Curry, you're gonna have Durant, who are veterans. Even Kawhi, I think it's his first time playing on the national team, but you just have certain guys like that, and Anthony Davis, that's gonna be like, hey, this is about team. It's not about individual. It's not about you scoring, 45 points a game. No, the common goal is we want to do what it takes to get a championship.
Those guys have won before, so it's good for that experience with some of the good young talent on there as well.
That's correct. So once again, barring any injuries, hoping that nothing happens, but this is going to be the squad, and I look forward to seeing what they bring in Paris for the 2024 Olympics that goes down, I believe, in August. So definitely stay tuned for that. Ms. Dub says, I think all these players are known as team players. Exactly. There's not that, okay, hey, give me the ball. Everyone leave. Everybody go home. I got this. No, it's like, hey, we're all about winning. So it's going to be a nice blend. And, like I said, Steph Curry, I'm excited for him, because it's his first time being part of the actual men's national team. He's been on Team USA, but it wasn't for the Olympics. It was like for the national games, where it was like, you play other countries, but it wasn't for actual medal. It was more so like for seeding or whatever. This is for the actual gold. So I look forward to seeing him and LeBron and KD come together for the next couple months or whatever, and hold things down for USA. So with that being said, Joe Bo, we did it again. Another great show. Shouts out to our special guest, Dominic Martin. Told his story. Look forward to meeting him in person this Saturday at his second annual Coaches Clinic. Once again, you can meet myself and Brittany Willis. We will be at Shoot 360's grand opening in Fenton, Missouri. 2045 Hitzer Court, Fenton, Missouri 63026. From 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., we'll be getting footage. We'll be getting some interviews from those who are going to be at the event, from coaches to instructors, maybe some parents, maybe some participants. So we're going to be doing a lot of things going on this weekend. Just continue to work on expanding the brand. If you have an event, anything that is sports related, and you want the Platform Sports Talk Show to come out and provide a platform for your event, give us that email. You'll see it on the screen in just a moment. But we just want to continue to just uplift and promote and do what we can to bring that exposure and bring that love to those who, are wanting and need it. That's what this show is all about. That's why we have this platform. So definitely continue to stay tuned to what the Platform Sports Talk Show has to offer. As you know, once again, every last Wednesday of the month. And of course, next week is the Man Cave. And I'll be back on the show because Stan will not be on. He is preparing for a gig that he's doing coming up very soon. So I'll be holding things down with him. For him, but definitely stay tuned to who will be on the show next week. And of course, every first Wednesday of the month, we have Ladies Night. So shouts out to the lady. Look forward to what they will be having in store in a couple of weeks. Y'all already know. Y'all can't see us. Y'all can listen to us on Hot 365 Radio, where it is always hot. go to hot365radio.com or on your device, go to the Play Store, whether it's iOS or Android, put in Hot 365 Radio, and boom, you are good to go. And last but definitely not least, Jobo, find us on Facebook, the Platform Sports Talk Show, on the X at 314 Sports Talk. That email I told you about earlier, platform sports talk show at gmail.com. Hit us up, allow us to be at your event, give us an all access pass, and we will make the best of our opportunities for any type of event. We also on an Instagram at Platform Sports Talk. They can go on YouTube, Jobo, to the Platform Sports Talk Show, subscribe and click on that
bell,
because anytime we go live,
y'all will be notified.
We are working on getting back on Roku, so stay tuned for that. But we do have our shows uploaded and archived on Facebook, on the X, on YouTube, on Instagram as well. You can also, for some reason, if you may have missed the show and you want to hear us again on Hot 365 Radio, you can also tune in on Sundays at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time for the full replay of our previous shows. So we everywhere, and it ain't gonna stop. The party keeps on going. As next week, once again, we have the Man Cave. So it's the Platform Sports Talk Show. Your boy Smooth, along with
Joe.
Y'all have a wonderful rest of y'all night and rest of the week. Peace out, y'all. See y'all next week.